Are we
I
live?
think we're live. She tells us we're live. So
Okay.
let me hit
Now I feel bad. I forgot my Norseman beanie.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Say hi.
Bam.
And we can let some people flow in here for a minute. I was bad and did not share yesterday like I usually do. I forgot.
There we go.
I forgot.
Sign on. Even though you can't see it. Oh, there we go.
Is that one chocolatey?
No.
That one just seemed like it had chocolate taste in it. No,
It does. Well, it does kind of have a.
Okay, maybe I was thinking maybe it's just me, but that tastes chocolatey.
It doesn't have chocolate in it, but it's rich.
Yeah, nothing like
So-
the one that tastes like jalapenos.
Hmm.
The one that
Yeah.
Trevor's like, it does not taste like a jalapeno. And then he finally drank mine. He goes,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah.
that's
oh,
where
wait,
it tastes
that
like.
tastes like a jalapeno.
Yeah. Good morning.
All right. So what's up, everybody? Like you said, we'll wait for some people to kind of filter in here.
Yep.
Yep, good old glass of beer at 9 a.m. So we can probably go on ahead and.
Mr. Stabby is actually 9 a.m. here.
No,
For Central Time.
we're skipping this Wednesday.
Yes.
I know that.
I'm
We just talked about that. That's why. Morning, Andrew.
What's up?
Mr.
I
Stabby,
can't talk about the Phase 4 yet.
Nope.
So,
It exists.
It exists.
yeah.
And it is pretty. Can we at least say that?
So, yeah.
I can say it. It's
Pretty, and it smells great. I can't talk about it until the Friday after next Friday. Because next Friday, the Nova and the Spectre come out. So I can talk about those.
Everybody's like, we don't care about those. We want to talk about the one that says P4 on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Which we've had
But
this
the Nova
discussion.
is so pretty.
The Nova is pretty.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
They
Go down
both smell fantastic.
I can probably talk about the Phase Crucial because I'm sure that's not
I don't think-
stateside. I don't know anything about it, but
Let's say I didn't know there was a Phase Crucial, but I also don't pay attention too much of overseas stuff. Just because I know I'm never going to drill it.
yeah, the first rule of Phase 4 is never talk about the Phase 4. Even though they just announced it and literally everyone wants to talk about the Phase 4, but I can't talk about the Phase 4.
You have to wait until when? What was it? Next Friday?
The Friday after next Friday.
That should be the next movie.
Yeah.
Friday after.
Friday after next.
Sorry. Friday after next Friday. There we go.
Oh, no, any chance the Zen gets discontinued because of the No,
No.
Zen and Phase 4 have nothing. Just looking at the tech sheet.
Yeah.
The Zen is so much stronger. That cover is R2S Pearl on the Phase 4 is not very. It's the same cover that's on the High Road Pearl or the IQ Emerald, whatever else, and so it's really one of their lower strength cover stocks. So they're not going to put out anything that's gonna step on the toes of the Zen anytime soon.
But plus,
So-
the Zen is just so freaking popular that it's,
Yeah, there's no reason to put out anything that's going to compete with that. And so I will have comparison videos because the Spectre is our 3S Pearl with a weaker core, and the Phase 4 is our 2S Pearl but with a stronger core. So,
yeah, and they're both pretty.
so yeah, but
Nova and
there's
Spectre are as
nothing
well.
there's nothing that's going to step on the toes of the Zen. They're going to give it a wide berth while it's still selling like crazy. So.
So when's the actual release date for the Nova and the Spectre?
The 14th. So those will be out next Friday. And then the Phase 4 release date is the 11th of February. So, I mean, we're still over a month off. So,
It's nice you get them that far in advance, though.
so yeah, for one thing that sucks is, they announce something and then, well, we got other stuff kind of, don't start pushing this yet. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's the only thing anybody wants to talk about. So, I mean, that's incredibly inconvenient.
Yeah, that's silly, but. hey,
But
it is what it
I
is.
mean, at the same time, it's over. They have to announce stuff early enough to give distributors a chance because distributors have to put in, hundreds of orders
Yeah.
because they want to make sure that if somebody goes into a pro shop and wants to buy one, and so if they announce it and they kind of get an idea what the buzz is like. But we also have the Altered Reality and Wolverine just came out about 3 weeks ago. And then the Nova Inspector are right around the corner, so I know everybody wants to talk Phase 4. I know everybody wants to get information, but realistically, it's still over a month away, and so there's really not that much of a reason. You're not going to go out and buy one right now. I mean, sure, there's such a thing as pre-orders. What's up, buddy?
He says, I want to talk on the stream.
What, buddy?
Curtis, I'll answer that in just a second.
Buddy.
Actually, I will say the hype around the altered reality is real.
Yeah, the altered reality is crazy. And that's the other thing is that I think the Spectre's really good, too, and I really hope that the Phase 4 announcement doesn't say, oh, well, I was going to get a Spectre, but now screw that, I'm getting a Phase 4. Well, they're different balls, and I think that the Spectre is something you ought to pay attention to first, and then, I mean, just because the ball comes out, you don't have to buy it right when it comes out. Obviously, they want to sell stuff right when it comes out.
Oh, yeah, of course. Please don't tell me that's a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. No, that is actually a Norseman Brewing Company.
No,
beanie.
I wouldn't wear Pittsburgh Steelers stuff.
Norseman Brewing Company. As we're drinking their beer first thing in the morning, and we didn't actually tell them what we're drinking. We just talked about it tastes like chocolate. So this is actually Nice Beard Bro by Norseman Brewing Company. Is this an IPA?
Yeah, it's a red IPA. Okay. So it's basically like a Scottish red and an IPA at the same time.
It's really good.
Hi, buddy. What? Go talk to Mama. You want to go
Plus,
outside?
you have to admit, the name is pretty
want.
awesome. Nice Beard Bro. It is really good. So shout out to Norseman Brewing Company for that.
Yeah. My brother said that, so we're about a week or two away. Probably the next time we stream, they'll have the Striking Viking ready, which was batch number 300. So I've got a bunch of pictures and all kinds of stuff going on for that. And we'll probably do it at...
And we have sampled it.
Yeah, we have sampled it. It's a black cream ale. And so basically it's like a Budweiser that he made with dark malt, and so it looks like a Guinness, but it doesn't taste anything. I think it actually is pretty cream. I mean, it's a cream ale. Yeah. The dark roast made it a little bit maltier the dark malt made it a little bit roastier than he wanted it, and so he put some vanilla beans in there too to kind of mellow it out. Yep. And so yeah, it's really, really tasty. I will say that. Yeah.
I'll have. That's the soup of the day.
Yeah, one more. The better question was, what does this mean the end for the Phase 3? No. R2S Pearl and R3S Hybrid are quite different, and I'm gonna feature that pretty heavily in the review. I drilled a brand new fresh Phase 3 for the review because I completely wore my last Phase 3 out. So quite different.
That's the first one you drilled Lefty, right?
Yeah. Quite different balls. So yeah, I don't think the Phase 3 is going anywhere, or if it does, it shouldn't.
I can answer one more question before we make a couple announcements here.
Because the Phase 2 does not.
I love the Phase 2.
Or the Phase 4 does not replace the Phase 3.
Oh, okay, Phase 4 does not replace.
Anyway,
it.
No more Phase 4 stuff. You're gonna get me in trouble.
Stop it. What's your first 6 in the bag right now since being a free agent? Obsession Tour, Power Torque. I bring a combination of usually an astrophysics. It's either an astrophysics dark coat or UC2. Just depends on what I feel like taking that night. Black Widow 2.0. What else have I been taking? And I've been taking a Trident Odyssey. Trident Odyssey I've been taking a lot. The Trident Odyssey hype is real though, just an FYI. I will give him that. That ball is pretty good. To me, I see it as a weaker Phase 2. So, I will at least give them that credit. That's probably the best one I've thrown since I was with them, and then of course that's the last one I got. So, yeah, it's a good combination of things.
All right, so give me a second on some of the question. We're going to, now that we're kind of starting rolling, we have a couple announcements. The show is moving to Wednesday night. I got a new job that I start tomorrow. Tomorrow.
It is Sunday, yes.
Yeah. So I got a new job that I start tomorrow. It's no travel anymore, and I'm working inside, which is great because my people weren't built for the outdoors. So I have an office job. I'm going from bridge inspection to bridge management. So I'm going to be in the behind the scenes, all kinds of everything. It was kind of funny. What, buddy? I know. Hi, buddy. I know. I know, buddy.
I just want to stream too.
He's like, yeah, it's too hot in here. I know, it's not hot in here actually at all. You're just floofy.
I'm actually wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, I know, you're just floofy.
I promise I have Turbo logo and a Cool Wick shirt on underneath this.
So yeah, it's going to be kind of the front end of the back end of stuff, the management side of funds and data management and building new bridges into into the software, and we're here in Kansas. We're a little behind the times, so we still print it for the reports for the bridges. We still print them out on paper and go write the reports on paper and then bring them back in and scan them into the system, and then somebody has to manually enter the data and whatever else. So we're going to electronic data collection here in the next year or so.
You have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Yeah, I know. So everybody else has had iPads out there for like the last frickin' decade.
So are you excited to, excited to not be climbing on bridges anymore?
Yes.
There you go.
I do kind of like traveling and getting to different places, and it's kind of nice at the end of the day to just go flop into a hotel room and fall asleep at like 8:30.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could go to sleep at 8:30.
so anyway, yeah, somebody asked me, how does one manage a bridge? And I said, probably with a cup of coffee in your hand and fielding a bunch of complaints from Karens.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be at home now. Instead, I used to travel Monday through Thursday for work, and so I'd have to try to cram everything into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that makes it tricky. I can do a little bit of writing and some question answering and whatever else on the road, but after working outside for 10 hours and then getting cleaned up and getting something to eat, and then it's 7:30, and I really don't feel like sitting down and writing ball reviews or answering YouTube questions. So no offense, but.
No offense, as we're sitting here talking on YouTube.
Yeah, but this'll give me a whole lot more freedom, and so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This doing it on Sunday was more a form of kind of function or what? Well, hi.
Well, plus, this will allow us to not have to worry about missing shows for tournaments.
Yeah, that's
we
the
were
other,
missing
that's
a
the
lot
other
of
thing.
stuff.
Wednesday is so there's several different reasons. One of them I can't talk about yet, but probably the biggest reason is that nothing happens on a Wednesday. Nothing happens on a Wednesday.
Unless
So
you
we've
bowl
had
league, that's about it.
We have a lot of tournaments that will frequently, and I can think of just the ones. I mean, the end of the month we're going to miss. Then there's more tournament. The Super Bowl doubles, definitely not streaming. Wouldn't have been streaming that weekend. And then we're going to Springfield. Wait, no, we have Southwest in the middle of March, and then we're going to Springfield, and then any other
March
odd
to April and
KC
May is
tournaments.
huge.
It's just we have to miss
Yeah.
so many. We have to miss so many of these shows just for tournaments and this, that, whatever else.
We're actually going to be able to give you consistent content.
Wednesday we should, barring the odd.
Somebody gets sick
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, barring something weird, we should be able to stream every single Wednesday. So that's probably the biggest. Can Storm Dog replace Sunday stream? Yes, definitely.
Lucas with Storm, Lewis with Global House needs to sign with Roto Grip.
Yeah,
That would be pretty funny. Can Storm Dog replace?
But
League night for me. Well, that's okay, Jason. You have a phone you can stream it on.
yeah,
You can stream it on your phone. But no, it's a good move for us. I think that Wednesday nights will also help us out too, because a lot of people, like you said, not a lot of people are doing much on Wednesdays. And we're talking at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday nights, Central Time. Yeah. So, not a ton going on Wednesdays unless you bowl league. That's about all we were thinking of.
You can
So.
watch the breakdown pair while you bowl league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You could watch the breakdown pair while you bowl league, and then tell your friends about us.
that's after work for most people. I know that this is probably more convenient for some people than some other, but I think overall Wednesday night's going to be, especially evening, people get off work, maybe you can turn it on while you're eating supper or something like that. But
And we're also going to work on building us a Facebook group or page for our breakdown pair, so we can interact more with you guys on there.
Yep, that's the next thing is we're gonna have Lou has his group. Angel set me up a page, but it doesn't end up
kinda like mine
working
is,
out
yeah.
that well. Yeah, it's more of a hands off, arm's length fan page type deal, and that just doesn't work. I don't really like that at
No,
all.
what they suggested when I set it up, the page sounded better, but it's not working.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work, and Facebook is really bad about getting me the notification unless I just flat out go in there and try to intentionally look for messages. I don't get notifications when somebody messages my page, and then trying to flip flop back and forth between my page, my regular account, Messenger, whatever else. It doesn't work well.
Yeah, it's
It
a pain.
It just
Have
sucks.
you decided
Plus,
if the page is going to go away?
probably, the page is probably going to get deleted, and I'll just make my own group. Of course, I kind of already have my own group on Discord. I'd rather people get into the Discord than have to manage 2 Facebook
Well, that's
things.
why I was saying we'll
So I
create
might
a
just do that, and then
we'll create a
have to-
breakdown pair one, and then we promote the Discord. in
Yeah,
there
and we
too,
can just
so.
funnel people to the Discord if you
Yep.
want more. But because I don't want to have, if we have a breakdown, I already have my main account, and then to have a page, and then the breakdown pair, and then the Discord, and then the whatever else, it just doesn't make a whole lot
Our
of sense.
email's not going away either, so you can still reach
Yeah.
out to us on email. But this will allow you to get in touch with us a lot quicker than email.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you can message us through your socials. Actually, through the actual breakdown pair Facebook page itself, it'll actually send us a message, and we can answer it right there. So it'll be helpful to have. Plus, I think we're gonna allow people to share content, stuff like that in there
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
And just
or
really
just-
just kind of blow it up. So let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, we're not we always have to talk about our own crap and whatever. Like in my Discord,
Yeah.
on the paid side, we have a different channel for if you want to, because we have some Brunswick staffers in there, we have some Motive staffers in there, so we have a Motive channel. We have a Brunswick channel. I'm not just trying to indoctrinate you with a bunch of Storm stuff. Now, obviously, I would greatly appreciate if you would buy Storm stuff. And based on my Bowler's Mart link, a lot of people are buying stuff, and so that's very helpful, and will ensure that
That
I
link in here.
continue to bring. Say what?
That link's in the chat, right? Or in the profile.
Maybe the Discord link should be down there.
Bowler's Mart link is in there.
The Bowler's
is
Mart
in
link.
there.
That's actually going pretty well.
I just dropped
So
the Discord link.
I definitely appreciate that. That is more for kind of a, it's hard for the company to figure out. Okay, well, what's the value of a YouTube view? Like, it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's sure you're getting a bunch of people to click on the videos, but is it more entertainment, or are they doing whatever else? Yeah, and I need to
Refresh.
got a swag. It's hilarious. But I mean, so I do appreciate everybody going out of your way to use that link, even though there's no discount. I do appreciate you using that, because then that gives me actual numbers to give to the company to say, hey, yeah, I mean, this stuff's actually working, so
Yep.
they'll continue to support me, support the channel, whatever else. We did both sign with Coolwick again.
Yep.
I'm wearing the Black Label pullover because it's kind of chilly down here.
I'm actually wearing. I'm wearing a Coolwick t-shirt.
Yeah, he's got
It's
a
just a
Coolwick
Coolwick
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
And there's my turbo patch. You can see it.
But
It's
yeah,
just a little chilly, so I'm.
Yeah,
And
and
I put his face in.
I know I saw it. Thank you. And then
I
House
did-
Hack. No, I was not hiding a new announcement for a sponsor. I promise.
yeah.
One board hooks in snowman. Oh, we talk about. We got a cool topic, and then we can talk a little bit about snowman stuff like that too.
Yeah, let me answer a few questions. Well, I think we've got all the announcements out of the way for what we can
Yeah. I think-
announce right now.
Yeah, that we can announce right now. Yeah.
Norseman Brewing Company, Nice Beard Bro. It's a red IPA, so it's basically an IPA and a Scottish red
Yep.
combined.
Did we make sure that we told them it was not this coming Wednesday? We're starting it as the following.
Yeah, it's the following
Okay.
Wednesday, so we're going to take a break for my daughter's family is going to be in town for the next couple weeks. They get here tomorrow. I'm starting a new job tomorrow. And so his daughter and my granddaughter are about the same age. And so they'll,
Like 6 months apart, we decided.
Yeah. something
yeah,
like
because
that, I think so.
Ray Ray's birthday was not Riley's birthday was yesterday. She turned 7 yesterday.
Yeah, so they're close in age then.
So when's
Yeah.
Ray Ray's birthday?
July.
July.
So,
yeah.
Turn 7 in
6, 7
July,
months.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Ray lost another tooth,
Yeah.
so now she looks even more hillbilly.
Yeah.
Literally, I think she's gonna have to start eating out of a straw here soon.
Those hillbilly teeth. It looks like some of the.
She gets out of school the other day and says she took a bite of something and the tooth went forward. And I said, yeah, it's about to go. You may not eat much
Man.
with that.
All right. So before we start talking about the topic, there's the topic is called "Don't Force It."
Yep.
Obviously, you should read the subject line. But there's a lot of we've both had quite a few changes here recently for several different reasons, and then we get people asking. We've had several people in the Discord too that are, you try so hard to do something or make something work, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know what? Yeah, there might be some perks here or there, but it sucks. So, I
Yep.
mean, it's... Anyway, I'm going to answer a few of these questions so we can get into talking about the topic at hand. Just got an altered reality. So far, for me, that ball is a lot of over-under. Already took it to 3K. Yeah, the factory shine, I'm starting to recommend that people take the shine off of it. And I do still have more filming to do for the Phase 4, so I'm going to break the cover on that. I'm going to start doing that in the videos. I'm going to get more in depth and do more things. I'm going to start breaking the cover in the videos because that shine is just way too much. I'll get some out of box. If they're shiny, I'll get some out of box shiny stuff. What? Yeah, I know. Well, I need to get both though, and I didn't want to spend it's a lot of time. And if something shiny, if I like something shiny out of the box, I don't want to screw it up. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get some shiny footage. Then I'm gonna get some not shiny footage because the shine sucks. So yeah, I'm pretty well recommending right now if anything comes out of the box polished, and probably even with the motive stuff or whatever else. And you like, I mean, we drilled that Black Widow,
Yep.
that Black Widow Ghost, and you just took the shine right off of it.
I don't like
straight
shine.
up.
Do not like shine.
Yeah, so most of the time the factory shine is to make it look good on the wall. They kind of communicate it two different ways. If something is dull on the wall, they want you to know, well, this ball's going to hook, or the idea is for this ball to hook. If it's shiny, then it's going to go long and be flippy. But the more shiny it is, the prettier it looks sitting on the wall, and so they tend to do some super gloss, and so that's not really great for ball reaction.
What if you have a ball show up like my 2.0 that's half solid or half
Yeah,
half surface, half
shiny,
shine?
yeah. How well would the Spectre or Wolverine pair with the Zen in Phase 2? Yeah, the Spectre or Wolverine the Wolverine is slightly stronger core, just a couple more points of differential. The Spectre has the stronger cover stock. The Spectre is kind of like a straight drop down from the Zen. It's still got that round, blendy type of look to it, but it's longer and a bit weaker. So, is there more overlap between the Altered Reality and UFO Alert? I don't think there's any. The UFO Alert is really, it's like an asymmetric IQ Emerald. It's really round, really rolly. The Altered Reality likes to pop quite a bit more. But yeah, if you get an altered and it's over under out of the box, take the shine off, because that ball is one of the best ones. The Altered Reality and the Reality are a couple of the best ones that we've ever put out, period. Axiom Pearl versus Spectre, they kind of feel the Axiom Pearl is earlier and a little bit smoother, but they're kind of right on top of each other from a hook potential standpoint.
Let's see. I'm making sure we hit everything here. Sorry, everybody. Hit some questions before we get into our topic here, so we can rant about our stuff. Does Norseman Brewing ship or have availability in stores?
No, not yet.
Okay.
They've still got kind of a smaller, kind of local location, and they haven't. They do. He does send kegs out in the local area, so we do. There is one beer called Thor's Crown that's an IPA that is just available everywhere else. You can't go into Norseman and buy it. You can get it at the casino up north. You can get it
Bowling Center?
at Bowling Center, Johnny's Tavern, some local locations, but they're not quite big enough to. And my brother's the only one that does the brewing. He is literally the only one. So there's nothing.
It is really good. Thor's Crown is too.
Yeah, I actually haven't had that because the one time I went to Johnny's Tavern to get it, they were out of it.
Oh, really?
So
You haven't had it?
so I need to go
Thor's
back
Crown is
and-
amazing. I don't know if it's
yeah.
Odin's good, but it's good.
Yeah. Are the Phase 4 videos all with the overseas balls? The pores look different.
Just ignore all, if they say Phase 4.
Yeah.
Skip it.
I'm going to have to ignore all the Phase 4 questions. I've already talked way too much about it.
We'll get to the Phase 4 stuff.
But
We just can't
anyway,
do it
no,
today.
the overseas, there's no difference between the overseas and the stateside Phase 4s. I'm not sure why the overseas market got them so early, but I don't know.
Oh, the Phase 4s.
Mm.
Yeah. Before we get into topic, do you want to talk about the snowman or anything like that? Just how cool that tournament is?
Yeah, the snowman is they're talking about the snowman tournaments in Tulsa, Oklahoma City,
No, it's in it's where they do the it's Oklahoma.
Broken Arrow, something like that. I don't know. It's down there.
I think it is broken. No,
Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Because that's
Yep,
where Fire
Shawnee.
Lake's at.
Yep, Fire Lake. Really unique tournament where they bowl double elimination match
Yeah,
play, best of 3. There's not an actual pattern. They strip the lanes and then they take a spray bottle and they walk backwards, and they spray it by hand. Um, so it's every lane is different, every pair is different. It's pretty ridiculous. And then to see some of the videos I saw, I don't know if you saw a whole lot of it. They just flat out did not hook. So
Yeah, I haven't seen any videos, but when you're just spraying it, just going out there with
Doherty, you have to check the
spray.
one that Barnes posted of Doherty's shot where 810.
yeah,
Doherty gets around it enough for 2 fingers.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it. The ball just goes straight, wiggles, and straightens out again. And the 810s. So you could easily see 360 grit being put on a bowling ball down there.
Mhm.
It's stupid. Stupid. So it's a unique tournament, something I would like to do down the road. Haven't had a chance to do it yet. I also don't like traveling for about 4.5, 5 hours to bowl, but I do it enough. But
yeah.
I'm not sure how you feel. But
I'm used to traveling. I mean, it's a 5.5 hour drive to Liberal, so I'm used to just getting in a truck.
I guess that's true.
I used to hate traveling. Now, this has actually helped me out a lot with traveling because I don't know how many times we go to nationals in Vegas or Reno and we drive. My parents like to go, and Angel would prefer to drive. But I I love flying, even with all the added nonsense with flying. I don't get to do it enough to where it's not like irritating.
Yeah.
If I flew like once a month or something, it would probably suck. But
I hate flying.
yeah,
I'll do it,
oh
but
my
I hate
God,
it.
it's awesome.
I mean, you
But
get there so much faster.
Driving, it's just God, you're sitting in a car for 2 solid days, and it just fries me out. Not anymore. I can just kind of hang out in a car and read a book or look at something or whatever else. Now it does kind of suck when you get close to Vegas because you don't have any. There's no signal in freaking Nevada or
Nope.
Utah or wherever the crap you're driving through
Yeah, that's
for like the last 4 hours of the trip. So
Also, did want to give Jesse Bauer a shout out. He qualified second for today.
the Ebonite Classic.
And the Ebonite Winter Classic up in Waterloo. That is another big tournament that usually doesn't run head to head against Snowman. But apparently that center is hosting the state tournament next month, which is when it's usually held. So they had to run them both at the same time, which cost them a lot of entries. But that's a big tournament up in Waterloo, Iowa as well. So shout out to Jesse Bauer on that. Hopefully he can finish that off. So speaking of a guy that's been throwing it really, really good.
Yeah, and Jesse's he's like the assistant manager or the manager of Royal Crest Lanes where we bowl quite a bit,
Yep.
and I do my videos at. So whenever I say Royal Crest Lanes, Jesse's the guy that's always taking care of me when all I have to do is say, hey, we're coming to bowl. And they'll, yep.
Take care of it. Don't worry
Yep.
about it.
We'll get you set up.
Yeah,
So
if they missed it, when James streamed on the first, they brought out the lane machine for us.
Yeah.
yeah, we went out on January 1st. They opened at 11 o'clock, and it is cold. And it had just dumped a bunch of snow and ice and whatever else. And so, I mean, there was nobody in the building, but I mean,
Oh, yeah,
it's
New Year's Day.
first thing on New Year's Day, and it's snowy and icy and 10 degrees outside and whatever else. But yeah, we got out there to bowl.
There were like 5 lanes going above them.
Well, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that's.
I'm a writer. I exaggerate.
I'm a writer.
Embellish.
You do not get to.
I don't exaggerate. I embellish.
You do not get to hyperbole in the negative when you were speaking about.
Yeah.
All right, we can get into our topic here.
So yeah,
I'll let you lead that off.
All right. So number one, Staffer Life is about a bunch of bowling equipment, and seeing as how I do the video thing, I get virtually everything. There's a lot of the staffers that, for the companies with the bigger brands like Brunswick, they don't expect their staffers, especially, I mean, the national staffers are different, but even they don't drill everything. I mean, there's 7 companies. They don't expect you to, and most of the Brunswick staffers say, okay, well, I like the stuff that comes from this company, so they try to stick to like 2 or 3 companies to just order stuff, and then they just kind of ignore. Well, there's like outliers like a Power Torque.
Yeah.
Like I know Keeler likes to do
3 brands, right?
Yeah, he does. He's on track, so he does track, hammer, and
And
normally like Brunswick, doesn't he? Or
Yeah.
or one of the other companies, but I know it's not Columbia.
no, he doesn't do much Columbia, but he did drill torque.
But yeah, when a Power Torque comes out, then you make an exception.
Yeah. I don't remember.
But
Which he's smart though on that kind of side of things. To stick to 3 brands, it's probably wise.
Yeah, because there's so much equipment, there's so much going on. With Storm, it's manageable because there's only 3 brands. And but with the Motive thing, they unfortunately only have 1 brand, and a lot of the stuff kind of overlaps a lot of the other stuff, and so you're kind of stuck with ball reaction to a certain degree.
I wouldn't say to a certain degree. I'd say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
at least.
really get along with it, it's great, but if you don't.
Yeah, if you get along with it, it's great. But like I can tell you, and this is not a knock on them, but I would change balls for a tournament here a couple weeks ago, and the ball would literally do the same thing. I mean, you saw.
Yeah,
the
you
same
went
thing.
through 4 or 5 different balls, and one of them was maybe a little bit earlier than another one.
Yeah.
One of them was a little bit sharper, but there wasn't enough of note.
And they all shape.
Yeah, everything from the same line. Everything consistently went 2 feet too long.
Yep. So
And yeah, it just
that was one of the big reasons why I decided to leave.
yeah. I mean, it's more manageable to just have the 1 brand.
It is.
But so we put out, I don't know, 25 balls a year.
Yeah.
And they are all kinds of different stuff, and so I've got to throw all kinds of different stuff for the videos, and then naturally a new shiny ball comes out that I want to throw in league, and it may or may not be a good idea, but I try to do it anyway. And when I started the whole Lefty thing, I used a couple different balls because I was just keep it simple, hit the pocket, stay out of trouble, and so basically I just threw what worked.
Right.
I drilled a ProMotion even though they were discontinued. I threw pretty much a ProMotion and Idle Synergy virtually the entire year. And then I thought, oh, okay, well, now I'm getting good enough to where I can start branching out and throwing some other stuff and whatever else. And so I tried to mix a bunch of other stuff in, and it didn't work. I mean, I'm 10 pins down on average this year versus last year. I averaged almost 230 in the scratch league last year.
Yeah, you had a
and
good
I'm
year
at
last year.
I'm at like 221 right now, and it's going back up. Or no, I was at 219.
I'm still
Yeah,
recovering from that motor stuff.
I'm still at 219. But yeah, and you're down.
I'm down to 214. It's terrible.
Yeah, because you were at 21, 22, or 20.
I was
mid-20s.
I was mid-20s. Book
Yeah,
average
24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're both down quite a bit this year, and
But a lot of it's mechanics, though,
yeah,
and that's kind of what we're going to get into.
yeah, and that's the other thing is that bad or not having the right ball reaction. It may not be bad ball reaction. There's no bad balls, just bad ball reaction is kind of the prevailing thing, because there's a lot of people out there that like the Zen, and I've been through 2 of them now, and it either hooks off the planet 30 feet or just kind of wiggles and hits flat.
I'm going to find out.
God, everybody else can throw it, but it just does not work for me.
I have to find out. It's just kind of
Yeah,
one of those things I have to
it
find
just
out.
does not work. Oh, yeah.
Can we topped off?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you still got some in there. I didn't know if you want to topped off or not. I can wait.
Nah, just wait.
Okay.
Maybe eventually if I stop talking.
No, you're good. Keep going. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just...
I can drink. That way you won't have to interrupt me.
No, you're good. But no, we really, like, the 2 of us have really had some mechanical issues. We've been fighting pretty bad. Mine were pretty bad. I think I was trying to fight bad ball reaction, and it kind of caught up to me.
What does the interrupting cow say?
Moo.
Moo!
If he starts moving at you,
Anyway.
I'm just, oh, boy.
We're just.
But yeah.
Can I please start mooing at you and just get?
No,
going through
that's an interesting. Well, the ball works on the left side because Trevor's not. And actually, Nick Vaughn and I were talking about this the other night. Because he asked me about my shoes because I changed my shoes. He's like, "Do you just not slide or whatever else?" And I
Should have just said no. That's
said,
slide
"No,
a ton
I
here.
learned to bowl lefty
Yeah.
with righty shoes." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, he didn't know I was a natural righty. And
Right.
so we kind of talked stuff back and forth. And he said, we started talking about Trevor and said, yeah. And Nick said, yeah, he's not a typical lefty at all because he likes to bowl like a righty. He likes to kind of roll. I mean, he really likes to roll it and bend it a little bit and whatever. But he's so good and he keeps his speed up, and so it works.
You talking about Trevor?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And he
it'd
hits
work.
that.
Yeah, I'm not
every time he throws it.
I'm not sure it'd work for any other or very few other lefties.
Yeah, it's
But the Zen looks good for him on the left. Theoretically, it should look great because I've gone to a lot of stronger layouts because there's no track, and so
Yeah.
I'm missing the mid lane stability, and drilling stuff stronger increases the mid lane stability. Then the Zen, that's what it does. It revs up and then it kind of walks in, so it should be perfect on the left side, but it's just not. So it just might be too strong. Actually, it might be the thing.
that makes what you just said. It makes me even more excited to throw it.
Yeah. So
Sorry, don't judge me. Moo.
Zen ball bad.
Carry on.
But so yeah, that's the thing is that you were a little handcuffed with the one brand and having a lot of stuff kind of on top of other stuff, and there is again the Trident Odyssey is really good.
It is actually really good.
The
yeah.
Jackal Ghost,
Really
it's
good.
been around for 5 years. The Venom Shock's been around for 7.
Those aren't going anywhere.
No, they all kind of are in the same.
Yeah.
And I think that might actually be a thing, is that there's a lot of stuff in the line that kind of reacts like a Ghost and a Shock, and I think
Yeah.
they're trying to kind of replicate that general look or reaction throughout the rest of this. Even like the shiny stuff, the Ripcord Velocity is sharp for a motive ball, but it doesn't look a ton different from. It's like if you shined up a Venom Shock, it wouldn't be super different. Would it? Maybe.
Sharp, I think it would still be pretty sharp
Yeah.
compared to the Shock. I think the Shock's just going to get down the lane a little further
Yeah.
still.
And there are some of them, like the Super and the Super Enzo looked.
I would say it would get down the lane a little further than it normally does.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That Shock has just got its own shape. Shining it up's going to just, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got like the Iron 4s that's another thing that I didn't like is the motive shiny stuff just did not get along with me, and I never threw it at box, ever.
Mhm.
It was like allergic to oil.
Yeah, it's really rolly, and a lot of their pearls, and even the velocity for being a sharper one, it's still not that. It's really rolly.
Yeah. I mean, you
It's
see
just
me
a lot
throw
of
it
their
sometimes
stuff.
where it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I've thrown it for sets, but
Well, and obviously somebody like EJ Tackett can just bang the living crap out of it.
oh, and he'll make it look good.
And yeah, because everything's really controllable, so he can shape it himself. But
Mhm.
if sometimes too much control is not a good thing, and we're not obviously bashing on motive here at all, because
No.
the Ghost and the Venom Shock are a couple of the best out there. But it's
Oh.
just everything is just from having the one brand.
Yep.
They're kind of one note.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So
We're just kind of telling you what I saw, and the big reason why I'm not around anymore.
yeah, and so even though it was a pretty good gig, now it was busy.
It was busy.
It was going to be busy.
Yeah. I was the
And at
brand
least-
ambassador, so.
Yeah, at least my busy is just with YouTube videos, so I can turn that on or turn that off whenever I want
Yeah,
when it's here. But
it
you
was-
had to travel around.
I had to travel. My free time was spent in pro shops. If I wasn't bowling or bowling a tournament or something, I was having to work. So
demos,
pro
visits.
shop visits.
And we're talking bigger areas too, like Iowa.
I had to cover Iowa, Nebraska, a chunk of Missouri.
And when you're
Kansas.
in Topeka, Kansas, that's a 4-hour
Yeah,
drive
and I live in
one way.
Topeka,
Yeah.
Kansas. I had 28 something shops I had to hit, and I had to hit them twice a year,
hmm
and that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
hmm
And then they expect you to go back
Well, and then
to
yeah,
do demos.
Yeah.
So you could be visiting those places 3 times. So, yes, we did get paid, but it wasn't enough to not see friends and family all the time.
Yes, but yeah, when you're spending all your, and that's kind of my thing too, is that, especially with the new job that is going to change some things, is that I would be gone Monday through Thursday,
Yep.
and then as soon as I get home, I got to get cleaned up. We go to league Thursday night, and then Friday I start working on ball videos, and then I work on ball videos and all my YouTube stuff on the weekend, if we don't have a tournament.
Correct.
And then go right back out on the road again the following Monday. And I was full-time travel. A lot of the other guys are like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off with the travel, but I was the full-time travel lead, and so we looked at some extra stuff that the other guys didn't look at.
Yeah.
And so it's every single week except December and January, and we even worked halfway through December this year. So
Yeah, you guys worked a long time this year.
yeah,
Because we started the Rise and Grinds, like, was it that last year?
hmm
We started that in, like, was it January?
yeah.
No, it
I
was-
mean, well, I still get
No, it was-
I get Fridays off. And
It was
so
like
that's-
late November, wasn't it?
Something like that.
We started it pretty.
Well, no, the Rise and Grinds, I I started off by myself, but
I thought we did them together.
Well, we did, but I did. Well,
I thought we did number one. We did it all together because you
yeah,
said I'm
because
gonna
I
start
was
doing something on
talking about
Fridays.
that, and you were working from home because of the COVID thing.
And I was like, hey, I'll get away on Friday for an hour. And a
Because
half.
of the COVID.
So why not? So yeah, we did them all together,
Yep.
which
So-
it grew into this.
Yeah, which once you had to start going back and actually working, then we turned it into Sundays and
Which they're sending everybody back home again.
the J Honesty. Yeah.
Try it.
Well, and that's the thing is so despite kind of it was busy, but there were a lot of perks. But at the same time, it's like if you're not happy with what's going on, it's kind of hard to force something. It's like, well, the perks, the perks, the perks. But
Yeah.
if you're locked into a certain type of ball reaction or one or two different looks or whatever else,
Right.
then bowling itself just becomes not fun. And that's the problem that a lot of people that get into the industry, they love bowling, and so then they get in the industry, and then it makes them hate bowling.
Yeah.
And so I've been there several times myself, and I'm kind of coming back. I go in waves, but I'm kind of coming back around now to where I've been throwing an IQ Tour Solid a lot.
This is where we can really get into the topic too. So
Yeah. So you're looking for, it's like, yeah, I mean, the position was cool, and it's fun being on staff and whatever else, but it just doesn't make up for what you lose
yeah.
by being on staff.
Correct.
And so you made, I mean, it was a tough decision,
Oh, it was hard.
and
It was really hard.
and everybody looking from the outside can say, yeah, but you're
You're getting this and this and this.
somebody, and you're getting this, and it's like, yeah, but
But if it's
It's-
not worth it to the person.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
enjoyable, and
You know-
that's
What's funny though is we kind of bring that up is the last 3 outings. Granted, I'm still learning. I'm learning all new stuff now, so it makes it even better. But I'm starting to throw it better.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it started at Lefty East on Sunday, where I didn't have a great day.
Mhm.
Thursday night, I threw it bad for about a game. Was starting to get frustrated. Figured out what was going on. Even last night or Friday night,
Yeah, even then, that was
actually threw it pretty good. Bowled bad, but you know
No.
what? I wasn't pissed off.
We scored bad.
Yeah.
I threw it really good Friday.
But I
night.
wasn't pissed off. You know what I mean? Like I was starting to get to the point where I was starting to take it out, like on Amanda and stuff like that, because I was getting really frustrated trying to figure out what was going on. And,
Oh my god, I take stuff out on her all the time.
and it wasn't. It's not intentional, and I felt really bad. And she knows
Yeah.
it. She finally looked at me and says, "Just do what you got to do."
Well,
And I said, "Okay."
our wives have been really patient with us because I've been frying a whole lot lately, and she's been a lot more. She's normally just put her foot down, stop it, and whatever else, and that just makes me more pissed off because I want to. If when you're pissed off, you just want to be pissed off. You want to be mad. You want to throw stuff. You
Yep.
want to hit stuff, and not. I don't do that anymore. I used to,
Yeah.
but you eventually have to realize you grow out of that. You're representing stuff, and so it's you just. So I'm sitting there mad because you can't be mad. It's one of those things where you just want to sit there and
Yep.
just.
Oh, I know. Actually, what Roto Kyle just said is absolutely spot on, perfect.
Yeah, and that's exactly
Yeah.
that's exactly where we're leading into.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Leading into the don't force it thing, because this is a good topic, because this is what we both have been fighting.
Yeah, and
So.
it's but yeah, and so there's a couple times lately it's been when Angel's just kind of come to me, is like, you got to settle down. I know you're mad, but settle down. And because she's patient with me, it kind of calms me down. It's like, yeah, I'm really freaking mad. And she's like, yeah, I know, but you just can't be.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, yep, you're right.
It's kind of
You're
the same
right,
thing with
just-
Amanda. I told her, I was like, she'll go, relax. And I look at her and say, you just deal with what I've dealt with for the last year and we'll talk about it. And she goes, I understand. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been the most frustrating year of bowling. I think I put one set together and that was in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was profitable. But
One set and you popped a couple honor scores in, but
I think 4 of them to be exact.
you kind of, yeah.
most I've ever shot in one year.
Yeah.
That's the other part that it frustrates me. You know what I mean? And 2 of them are at gauge at all places.
Yeah, so I mean, at least when you have it, you have it. But
Yeah. I mean, I went through a set there where I was throwing it pretty good. I mean, look at 3 of them
Yeah.
were with the Jackal Ghost. You know.
yeah, well, I mean, it's again,
Anyway,
had-
carry on.
yeah. So my thing is that I started taking all kinds of stuff to league, throwing all kinds of different stuff, but again, I'm still getting used to the idea of the left side, or maybe I may try to make it too interesting. And this, I could talk about that forever. I'm not going to get back into that stuff on this. But the thing is that you have to find out kind of what works for you and go with it. And so I've been wanting to try all this kind of stuff out, and I gave the Zen another couple tries, and I really wish I could throw the altered reality and the reality a lot more. They're just too strong. And so I've finally kind of figured out a couple of really good layouts I like to use on stuff, but I'm just going to have to use some stuff for the reviews, and if it impresses me, it's going to get another look like the Spectre. Really, really like the Spectre. Really big fan of that one
And it's
so
pretty.
far. Yeah, it's pretty. It smells good. It rolls really good. I really, really do like that ball. So that one's traveling. But most of the time, I'm throwing the IQ Tour. I drilled another one of those for something of I don't know 5-6 months ago, and it reacts good. And so I've been trying to focus on using that. And since I have started on that, I've cleaned my mechanics up quite a bit. You can go back and watch some videos from 5-6 months ago, and it looks bad. Now it's looking better. It's still not where I want it to be, but it's a whole lot better. And just what Roto Kyle said, bad ball reaction can lead to bad fundamentals trying to do things to the ball. So you're trying to make the ball do things that it either doesn't naturally want to do, or you start trying to throw so many different things or force ball reaction. That's when you subconsciously start trying to control what the ball's doing instead of just finding the right ball reaction and using it. When you're a staffer, you want to try to use everything. You want to try to show stuff off. You want to whatever else. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like the Idle Helios, it rolls like a big, strong IQ Tour, but it's not consistent for me. It's another one of those that just everybody's throwing scores all over the place, and you can the two balls that we have that are getting honor scores like crazy, including a 900,
Helios, yeah.
the Helios and the Zen. You see stuff. A guy shot 858 next to us
With the Zen, right?
a couple weeks ago with a Zen. I got beat with a
On
Zen.
a pair that we were just on the other night was garbage.
Yeah, I got beat with a Zen a couple weeks ago.
It was so bad. That pair was so bad.
But you know what? I like the rounder look. So
The rounder, slower
Yeah.
looks. Yeah.
IQ Tour, Hustle Camo, UFO Alert, the Phase 3, but it's got a really strong layout on it.
Surprises me that you don't like the Helios and throw it more.
If I'd have put the correct layout on it, that probably would have helped. But
I don't think it's still gonna make it back.
it's too strong and
Yeah.
it's too sharp, and so it's one of those things where I do have to stay within a certain kind of range of stuff. If I get into too strong of cover stocks, like the Phase 3 is about the highest I can go before I start having problems, and even that's a little bit too much.
What's the cover on that?
Sometimes it's R3S hybrid.
Okay.
So it's kind of strong. It's not Zen strong. The UFO Alert is asymmetric, but it's still got E-Trax hybrid on it, which is basically R2S hybrid.
Right.
It's a very medium strength type cover. So anytime I start getting any higher than that, it's just too much strength. It's just too much strength. It forces me inside too much, and that's just not good on the left side, especially if you have to do that. So the straighter it's a straighter is greater type thing. And so here recently, my scores have been getting better. They're not quite the up and down that they were.
Yeah, they're getting better.
There was even on a Friday late last year, I shot like 510 or something, and I'm like, this is frying me out. And even though, and just like you were saying, Friday night the pairs sucked.
Oh gosh.
I went through a million different balls, and it's just nobody shot good. I think Amanda was high with like 620.
Yeah, I think so. It just didn't want to.
Yeah,
the ball didn't know what it wanted to
Yeah,
do.
stuff didn't carry. I don't know how many weird hits we had and whatever else. It just nobody on that pair scored.
Yeah, it didn't matter what.
Nope.
I still think it was the front doors.
Right by
Yeah.
The pair to the left of us was even worse.
like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still think it was.
Yeah, the
Well,
closer
yeah,
the
but
doors,
anyway,
yeah,
it's
gonna
just
get that
the
way.
pair sucked. We didn't score well, but I couldn't be mad, and we were kind of joking about it at the end of the night because we were both throwing the ball really good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working out. So there's a big difference between, because we both had some 640s, 650s that were just awful this year, that somehow we made it work, but I've never been happier with a 587 in my life, I don't
I
think.
can't tell you the same or any different. So
Yeah.
it's whatever. Things are looking up, and I'm excited for it. So I think
Yeah.
scores are coming. So.
Well, we grinded, and Thursday night,
we had the best night of our season.
Well, and that's the thing. Well, and everything sucked.
I mean, I only shot 640, but
Well, and Nick Vaughn shot 720, but he's ridiculously good. But nobody else on the pair was anywhere close.
it was huge though to get that
Anywhere
week
close.
2
Yeah, yeah.
because
and
now we can build off that.
they're one of the better teams in the league, and we grinded out and we did quite a bit. I think we went 25 and
25, we'll take that.
25 and 7.
Yeah, we'll take
So-
that all day.
So yeah, and that's
Confidence goes a long way.
yeah.
So get there, get better. Angel had a good night.
But-
Too. That was another plus.
Yeah, there's another good point. When you get to a certain level of bowler, what works is usually boring, so you can think you can make other balls look as good, and it sends you downhill. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
it's
yeah.
one of those things. Well, this is, I don't really want to get back into the J.R. Raymond thing, but at the same time,
I'm gonna put this on my head.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna duck down.
no, it's just one of those things that what he's really good at. And that's why we had that other live stream on the New Year's live stream, and some of the bashing was misunderstood. I don't think it really works for when you're doing a product review, but he's really, and most bowlers, Dylan, Trevor, whatever else, J.R. Raymond is a bowler first. He's a bowler first, and he won his regional PBA Regional Player of the Year. He's got 6 or 7 titles, whatever else. And so when he looks at a ball, he's looking at ball reaction first. And it doesn't matter what the cover formula is. It doesn't matter what the core numbers are. He's going to take the ball. He's going to put holes in it.
Yep.
He's going to throw it, and he's going to see what happens. And there's sometimes it doesn't matter what the numbers are or what a ball should do or what anything says on paper. There's a certain point where it comes down to the ball reacts good for you or it doesn't. And it doesn't matter whether it's a pearl or a hybrid, because the same thing is the phase 4 is smoother than the phase 3. And the phase 3 is a stronger cover and it's a hybrid. So theoretically it should be smoother. It's not. It's a whole lot stronger. It's a whole lot sharper. And so it comes down to one of those things that's like, and it can kind of irritate some of us that are bigger into the tech side of things. But JR gets on his Spectre video and says, "Well, it's shiny. It looks like a pearl. I don't really know what it is, but I'm gonna call it a pearl because it's shiny and looks like a pearl." And I'm sitting there. But he throws the ball. He describes the ball reaction, and you get into the idea. It's like, well, yeah, it doesn't really.
And he does voiceover shot by shot, which is a thing that a lot of
Yeah.
people like to see too.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter what the tech stuff is to a certain degree. I mean, sometimes, like Kansas City, we've got really dirty lane surfaces that are just super high friction. If you take cover formulas that are too strong, they usually puke and look awful. And so knowing the tech can kind of help save you in certain situations so that you don't have to, you already have the experience if you pay enough attention. And so it's just like, I can take an altered reality to Kansas City. It's probably not going to look good, so I'm just going to leave it. I don't need to burn a half of a game to find out that it doesn't look good.
Just depends on how tight down lane Olathe East is.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't need to take an altered reality to Summit.
Yeah.
Just to figure out, oh, well, this ball doesn't work here. It's like, well, yeah, if you
threw it like EJ Tackett, maybe.
Yeah, but it's like, well, the altered has a really strong cover formula. Strong cover formulas do not work at Summit. So there's your math that actually kind of works out. It doesn't matter what the pattern is at Summit. You need lower to medium strength covers, or the ball's never going to get down the lane. And so I don't need to waste the game or waste the time on experience that I already have. But that's very valuable to somebody like JR, who just has that sixth sense. Pete Weber is kind of the same way. He doesn't know anything about ball tech. He just knows, this is what I want the ball to do.
Yep, that's pretty good.
And so
He knows what he wants to see down lane.
Yeah, he just pays attention to the ball reaction, and he tells the reps, it's like, this ball's too strong, this ball's too weak, this ball doesn't rev up soon enough. And so the reps get him what he needs, and he throws it, and he adjusts, and whatever else. Or like Belmo when they were designing the Trend 2, there's only so much data that Specto can give you, and it spits out a bunch of numbers, but he's there throwing the equipment, throwing the test balls, telling them, well, I mean, yeah, this one started up a hair earlier. I know it didn't hook this earlier, but it's revving enough.
Yeah.
It revs earlier. It wants to go earlier, but the cover formula might be a little bit weaker, and so it still pushes even though it's revving sooner. And so Specto only tells you where the ball starts hooking, the board it was on, whatever else. It doesn't tell you all these kind of third, fourth, fifth dimension type stuff.
So Belmo would be more of a technical guy.
So yeah, well, he's more of a technical guy, but he blends that with just raw ball reaction reading skills. And so I think that somebody like JR is important because it's like, let's forget all this tech nonsense, all this boring crap that nobody understands anyway. Let's just see what the ball does, and let's compare it to other balls and see how they react next to each other. But again, the tech side I think is important, especially the cover formula side. The core numbers are understandable. I mean, a higher RG is going to spin up later. More differential equals more flare.
Yep.
That's pretty simple stuff to get onto. But the cover formulas are quite a bit trickier, and I think that is pretty important. It's beyond just the Pearl solid hybrid thing. Because the Iron Forge and the Ripcord Velocity have the same cover stock, right?
Same cover, different cores.
I don't think
Iron Forge has a chuggy
That's
core.
what I'm gonna say. I don't think they react that similar.
No, they're not even. They're nowhere close.
Well, it's a Pearl.
Nowhere close. Nowhere close.
I mean, cool, but there's solid stuff.
Yeah.
That is sharper than the Iron Forge.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's
the Flash, even though it was rounder, to me it was sharper.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, but whatever.
Yeah, and so Brian, I thought I was alone, not really caring about the numbers. Throw the ball, and if it works, it works. Yep. Now it does help to know the numbers, so then you can tell what you can tell up front what you're going to like, what you may not like, whatever else. We've got a guy in our Discord that hates R2S Pearl. And so he could look at a phase 4 and think, well, I like the phase 2, I like the phase 3, well, it's a new phase, I'm going to get it. But historically, he doesn't. R2S Pearl sucks for him on everything he's ever thrown. R2S Pearl sucks. And so instead of spending $200 on a ball and then, well, gosh, I like the phase 2 and the phase 3, but I don't like this one at all, knowing the details can help save you from certain situations, either taking a ball to a tournament at a center where typically stuff like that doesn't work if you know the cover formula, or knowing core numbers if you don't get along with higher RGs, and just stuff like a Winner or a Spectre or a Wolverine or a High Road. If you don't like any of those, the next time a higher RG ball comes out, you can just avoid that because you know that just doesn't work out. So.
Did you say the Winner?
Huh?
Did you say the Winner?
Yeah, the Winner was like a 255 RG or something like.
The solid or the Pearl?
Both of them.
I loved the Winner.
Yeah, they were a 255 RG. So
I can't remember. I may even still have my original.
Higher up there.
I might have to pull that ball back out.
You should probably know what you own, dear.
No, I can't remember what left after I.
I
now, so what Tongue Twister said, what you mentioned is the exact reason I love JR. All that technical stuff and numbers means nothing to me. So I think that when you're doing a review for a product, it's important to add that stuff, and that's the reason. That's the reason that there was any kind of friction, or that there was any kind of shots taken, or whatever else, and why somebody like Luis and me said, just don't compare us to JR because we're not similar. That it's not. Oh my God, that guy sucks. Don't talk about us in the same. It's like, well, no, we're not similar. So when people, I watch you and I watch JR, it's like, well, we're not.
I mean, it's two totally opposite reviews.
Yeah, we don't look at things from the same.
You're getting two different things.
Yeah, you're getting.
But I answered somebody else in a comment, and I said, well, when I'm looking at a bowling ball, I kind of do the same thing. The numbers and tech stuff kind of tell me how I want to drill it. If it's symmetric, I'll drill it a certain way. If it's asymmetric, I'll put a different layout on it. So I need to know from that standpoint. But then cover formula, doesn't really come into it until I'm looking at, okay, so where's this going to stack up? So I know that if I put, because it's a symmetrical ball, I put the same layout on the phase 3 that I put on the phase 4. But I know because of the cover formula, they're going to be quite a bit different.
Right.
So when I'm looking at ball reaction, I'm looking at ball reaction. I don't really care so much about the. I'm kind of the same way. When it comes to a video, yeah. I mean, if you're making a video, so say if you do reviews on cameras, you know, you need to give the specs on the frickin' camera. You can't just say, well, I don't really care about the specs. I'm just going to take a couple pictures, a couple videos, and see what they look like.
Yeah.
You need to off the specs and stuff, even if people don't really pay that much attention to it. You need to offer the stuff. But it's also pretty helpful from the other side, especially when ball reaction is so much in here. You've got to have a good eye for it, regardless of the tech and the numbers and whatever else. So when I'm looking at ball reaction, I just look at ball reaction, but I try to quantify it with the technical details.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And so is that just kind of bounce back just a little. You were mentioning that you were throwing an IQ Tour Solid a lot here recently.
Uh-huh.
So just kind of going off our topic, are you throwing the IQ Tour Solid a lot just because you see the best ball reaction with it? Is it because it's the most comfortable? What? Just giving you an idea, like
it revs early enough to where it gives me strength and control in the mid lane, and then it's very smooth on the back end, and so it's one of those straighter is greater type things. And there has been a couple tournaments here recently when Trevor came to me. I had a good day on Sunday.
Olathe East?
Yeah, Olathe East.
You did have a good
That's
day.
the best day I've ever had at Olathe, period.
I don't know how you
I'd never
struck.
come close to averaging 220 at Olathe.
I don't know how you
And
struck.
Yeah. And Trevor came to me because he was having a bad, I mean, he did, I was like 100 over him for the first 4 games. Then, of course, he
And then Trevor.
Then he went plus 200 the last 4. But he was like, dude, I don't have any room. I mean, it's just, I feel like I have to be perfect. And I said, well, I'm throwing an IQ Tour just kind of right up the rail, and I've got all kinds of room, because if I get it out a little bit, there was some friction on the ditch, and if I got it in a little bit, it held a little bit. And so it gives me revving in the mid lane, and then it gives me a whole lot of blend down lane. So I can use my touch to kind of alter that.
Yeah, it's going to give you that smoother shape down lane. You don't have to worry about the ball just going sideways.
Yeah, and then and it's also a medium strength cover, so I don't have to play so much area, play so much room, so I can tighten things up, I can straighten things up, and I can be aggressive instead of having to kind of get down there and kind of do this or flip it or let it go so that it doesn't, the reaction is so much sharper on the left side of the lane, so controlling the shape down lane is really important. This controls the shape down lane for me. It creates kind of a track feel in the mid lane.
Right.
And so it's just something that fits. And so I've been throwing it a lot because I throw the ball better. And this is getting back to what Roto Kyle said earlier, is that bad ball reaction can cause bad mechanics. And I think that's the same thing, that your mechanics are already going up quite a bit faster now that your ball reaction is more consistently better. Or when it's not like it was bad with the motive stuff. It's just sometimes the look wasn't there no matter what you pulled out of the bag. Yeah. And then you had to start forcing it, and then that's when you started kind of flying your elbow a little bit, but you're trying to help.
That's what the elbow flying comes from. You're trying to help the ball. Once again, you're trying to force it.
Yeah, you subconsciously try to help it or whatever, and that causes bad mechanics. And 100%. So that's the same thing that I got into, trying to throw all these different balls. I'm like, well, I'm going to take these balls to league this week, and then I'm going to switch it up and take these balls. Now I just need to throw the stuff that works and that looks good.
Yep.
My mechanics have gotten better. Your mechanics have gotten better, just by not trying to force stuff.
I was getting lazy with my hand too. There's a lot of things where I'm starting to get around the side of it because I was trying to help it too much instead of keeping my hand inside of it and trying to just, because I ball reaction is definitely better since I've been back inside of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm getting around it more, maybe not a ton, but a little bit more.
Yeah.
It was really noticeable at Gaze the other night, I would say. I was throwing it really, really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of the big reason what you see though out of the IQ Tour is the big reason I throw a lot of the Obsession Tour.
Yeah.
It's granted, it's an ASIM version of that, so it's basically one on steroids. I would still like to see Storm make an ASIM IQ, but
Yeah, that'd be cool.
IQ Tour,
But
yeah,
DBK.
it would be very similar. It's the same ball, just a little earlier and punchier. Is all
Yeah.
it is.
all right.
Wouldn't you agree though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan, is the Iron Forge night and day different than the Forge
I answered
Fire?
him in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I answered him in the chat. 100% yes.
Okay.
Forge Fire is booty.
Yeah, if the specs didn't matter, then the companies wouldn't use them when creating the coverage cores, and that's the thing that I'm big into cover formulas.
Yeah.
The cores again are easy to you look at the numbers, it's mechanical, whatever, it's mathematical, so you can figure that out really easily. The cover formulas are where I really get into, and that really help me out the most. Using the cover formulas to kind of create different looks. That's why I'd always talk about like my Halo Burn. That had the stronger, shiny cover formula on it. So, and that's what people are finding out with the Zen now. You know, normally, yeah, it's a pearl ball, but it's really smooth. It's really early. It's really strong, and that's different from something like a UC2
Yeah.
that just flies down, or any R2S ball that just flies down the lane and then is sharper on the back end. The Storm, what are you talking about?
What did the original intents have? I know
Huh?
Screen door shut.
Oh.
I know you've told me this before, but I'm curious. What did the original intents have on it cover wise?
R3S Pearl, so it's got the same cover as the Spectre.
I still have that ball.
Yeah, Angel's got one down there. ready
I
to
like
drill.
that ball. It's gonna definitely come back
But
up. Sorry.
I'm big into cover formulas, and so that's why I normally talk about them quite a bit, is because I can, this is another thing. Yeah, go ahead and put it up. This is one of the thing.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Joanne.
Joanne Dollins found a place here that makes wooden ball cups and that engraves stuff on here. So this has got the Norseman Brewing
Yep.
Company logo on it. He got one
I
with the
think she
turbo
said
logo
Tulsa.
on it.
She ordered it.
Yeah, she found it in Tulsa and ordered it in Tulsa.
Because I got a turbo
These are
one,
freaking
right?
sweet. So if you want a custom ball cup, it's 303creations.com.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do one for my panda pack.
I hate the smell of this though, but it's so pretty. I love green.
No, I stole it because I love the smell of it.
I can't say on the stream what Anthony Lockwood calls the scent. I'll tell you later.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. But I do have. She got me the same one except minus turbo. Are we putting the ball up here?
It's Moroccan mint, and so it smells like like if you go to an Indian food restaurant, those little candies in the dish at the front that they probably don't have anymore because of COVID. It smells like those candies.
Yours.
Hmm?
I'm gonna make sure I'm online. Now.
Oh yeah.
We'll go up a little more.
Yeah, this is the Intense.
There we go.
So she's got an Intense. This has got R3S.
This ball's
Pearl on
really
it.
good. I love this ball.
And the more often that they use these certain covers, the more you can tell the difference between balls. Storm Dog, buddy. Yeah, just let him down here. The more you can tell the difference between the covers.
Yeah.
Especially when you and I've got the thing that really drove it home for me was getting into some of these overseas balls that play Mr. Potato Head with everything. And
Yeah.
so you can get, sometimes you don't really understand if you get different cover core matchups, but a lot of the time you can get overseas stuff that has the same core with a different version of that pearl cover. So you're not going to see stuff you're not going to see stuff very often like an Idol and an Idol Pro, and that's another thing that kind of. The Idol had micro tracks on it, which is basically Storm's NRG. And then the Idol Pro had E-tracks solid on it, which they're both solid covers, but they're different cover formulas. And so if you throw the Idol against the Idol Pro, the only difference is the cover formula. So that's what really helps you figure out, oh wow, cover formulas do matter quite a bit more than I thought they did. So that's what really got me into the cover formula thing, and figuring out which formulas manage which situations better. And some stuff like you figured out with even some of the motive stuff that's like, well, this doesn't quite make sense.
Right.
But it works out, or something like a VIP Affliction that should be better on fresher conditions is better on burn when the track whatever when the track gets burnt, and you can just get on top of it because something's smoother.
Yeah. And that was another one that surprised me. It was actually pretty good. But yeah, we also went pin down on mine, so it's going to get down the lane a little further. But I think it helped it. To be honest with you, I think it made it better. So.
Yeah, because smooth stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you can push the reaction a little bit further down the lane, it does create a little bit. It maintains kind of the smooth look, but creates a little bit more shape.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely does. It's ball shot 300 a gauge. I'll be. I won't complain about it too much. If you shoot an underscore gauge with a ball, you kind of like it for a little bit. But no, it was actually pretty good. I didn't throw it a whole lot. It surprised me at times where I was able to throw it, but it was definitely one of my more favorite ones. It did during our big stream. It won my ball of the year.
Yeah,
It would have been the Trident Odyssey, but that is not until a 2022 release. So definitely would have been the Odyssey. Odyssey is really good. But I am intrigued to throw a lot of stuff. I'm going to drill some more storm stuff.
nice beard, bro.
Yeah, I know. I love the name of that. Definitely going to put holes in his end just so I can tell Luke it's all him. I know Angel doesn't like the Zen either, but
She didn't like it because she doesn't like purple.
I guess
It reacts okay, but she's got a lot of stuff kind of in that
Yes.
general area to begin with.
Okay, if you like
All
the
right,
spec cover,
so-
you didn't like the Gravity Evolves, or because the Gravity Evolve was booty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it
all
just
right.
was not good. I drilled one for my wife, and she just throws it. I mean, she yeets it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a ton of hand, but
Spec is not gonna work from it.
no spec on that. No.
So you really can't judge the gravity fall.
Yeah, I know.
When
Well,
you
th-
give
this
that
is-
to your eating wife.
Yeah, this is the other thing is that Jonathan's wife has higher speed, lower rev rate. Her code red is
Amazing.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But it's got a really strong core
Yep.
and a medium strength cover, so it's going to rev a bunch. It's going to have more shape down lane. But spec, the cover that was on the Crux Prime, ProMotion, Gravity Evolve, it's early and smooth, and so it's not going to look good for her, period. And so this is one of those things where you can just write that cover stock
Yeah.
formula off
Yeah.
because you know the tech, you know the details.
Yep.
So again, like I said earlier, you have the experience if you pay attention to the details. You can't take everything in a case. If you take everything in a case-by-case basis, it's going to be a lot longer road to figuring things out than
Right,
if you
right.
just pay enough attention to the tech to use it to. Everything has to fit together.
Right.
And so I think both the tech is important and completely turning off your brain and just watching ball reactions is important. That way you can understand both and put them both together.
Yep. Yeah, Dylan Burns ended up with my. It's not mine. It was hers. We drilled a blank for her, but Dylan Burns ended up with it.
Yeah.
So he's got it. I don't know what he's ever done with it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
his Zen is the most versatile ball I've ever thrown. I've never carried a ball that carried better. Well, hopefully I'm Simon is right. Luke's looking at the camera like, bruh.
Do you still throw the IQTNP as well? If not, why not? I used the living crap out of the one that I had, and I used it up, and I just haven't drilled another one yet. But we do have more. It's just when we drill so many balls, it's hard to justify drilling extra stuff beyond what we already have because we already have plenty of stuff. And so that's part of the problem with the not forcing it thing. It's like, well, gosh, I already have 12 other balls sitting here that I don't get to use. How can I justify drilling something else up? But I'm like, well, if those other 12 balls you either don't throw or don't throw very often, why are you even messing with them?
The IQ Tornado Pearl is nasty, though.
Yeah, and so that's another one that I need to drill. And
I loved
talking
it.
to Angel about some of the other stuff that I need to drill up, but I've already got a million balls here that I don't use, and I want to save them for certain situations, but those situations just don't ever seem to happen, and so I need to just clean house, even if it's a ball that I like.
Yep.
That I'm just not going to throw very, like the RSTX1. I love that ball, but I just don't ever get to throw it. There's too much strength. It's asymmetric. It just
That's the green one, right?
I've kept my original ones. It's still sitting up there on the shelf, and I'd like to bring it out every once in a while, but it just ends up being too much ball all the time. And so it's one that I really like the reaction of, but why is it still sitting there when I could just give it to somebody and drill something else up? It's like, why drill something else up if you already have plenty of other stuff? But it just, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
No, I don't keep a whole lot of big solid ASIMs around because I use rarely. I can throw them more
Yeah.
now. But even like with the Nova and a Reality, where yes, they're different, but for me, how many times am I gonna take both?
Nova looks so good.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Angel was
difference.
just-
The reality is the one that intrigues me a lot.
and that one's really good too, but it just sits there because it's too strong. I
On the-
can't ever
like
throw
on the
it.
left side.
The strongest ball that I'm ever going to throw is going to be an Axiom. And my new Axiom that I drilled for the Helios review looks amazing. I also have the coolest looking Reality you've ever seen.
Oh, all that phase, all that
Yeah.
hook milk.
There's very, most of them are,
That's a good question. for Mr.
Blendier.
Stabby, actually.
yeah, I need to catch up with questions.
Got it.
But my Reality is the coolest looking one I've ever seen. It doesn't have much purple in it at all. Most of them are kind of
If
fairly,
you can drill the pin out, I'd take it.
yeah.
But no,
You're gonna have to help me out. I can't see where it's at. I might actually have to pee for the first time during a show in a long time.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, I've got the,
Yeah.
it doesn't have much purple in it at all. It's got a bunch of phasing. It's got a bunch of swirling.
So she has.
But
a dark
I
color.
can't ever throw it because it's too strong. So it reacts amazing, but it sits on a shelf. And I
Right.
just can't throw it, and it really pisses me off.
All right, because Atwater's my old boy. Luke moved Cassandra up to 14 pounds, got her Zen. She loves it. And a dark code. What should I get her for the 3 spot if she has a spare ball? Like probably like a Spectre or something, right?
Cassie.
That's a lot of shine, though.
Zen Dark Code.
It's a lot of shiny. Probably something like a
Uh,
Spectre, right? I mean, but that's problem.
that's
She's gonna have a
more-
lot of shiny stuff.
Yeah. She likes Zen and Dark Code.
What about some in the hustle line?
That might be a little too far down. Let me get on the website.
We'll get this figured out
Oh
for you.
no,
Atwater.
Hustle PBR.
Yeah, that's what you said. Some in the hustle line.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hustle PBR because it's cheap, number one, and it's pretty strong. It's the strongest cheap ball that they've ever put
I
out.
was gonna say white.
Yeah, well, the Hyped is more shine on. She's got a Zen and a Dark Code, and the Hyped is more shine on top
Yeah,
of shine on top
yeah,
of
shine.
round
She
and.
likes that, and it works.
Well, yeah, but the
But you're
PBR
looking
would
for
offer
a-
a different
looking
look
for
that's that's number one really cheap. It's really strong.
I went
So
with
she-
what she likes.
Okay, well she can get a different look.
I
with
mean,
the
it depends on what
PBR.
she likes.
Or yeah, I mean a Hustle line too. Or
Or camo.
Well, yeah, that Hyped Pearl might not be a bad.
Camo probably not a bad
That's
option
where I
either.
was
Because yeah, the Hyped Pearl, if the Dark Code and the Zen, and then a Hyped Pearl is kind of that same look, but just not quite as strong.
I would still highly suggest something solid in the bag somewhere.
Yeah, I would too.
That's
but-
why I stopped carrying my Forge Flare. I love it and basically never. Forge Flare only looked good for me in transition when there's like game 7, game 8 when it was burnt and the ball would just kind of
Yeah.
roll out and quit.
All right, catching up with questions.
Kind of hit, yeah, that's what we're doing. Speaking of not forcing, oh, here's a good question, Mr. Stabby. Speaking of not forcing it, how can you tell when you should switch from an ASIM to a SIM core and vice versa?
That's really tough. I've tried to write some reviews about that, but it sounds like I'm just talking in circles. But the symmetric cores, even strong ones, you can tell when they're revving up and the ball just kind of gets there and then hits flat. The asymmetric cores are going to add a lot of torque. So when you can't quite get a symmetric ball to turn the corner, then the asymmetric core is going to have that extra torque to both rev up like a stronger symmetric core and punch and drive through quite a bit stronger. But at the same time, sometimes the ball could be burning up.
Yeah.
But you can normally tell. You have to develop an eye for it, and that's why I say that the watching ball reaction and then adding the tech to explain the ball reaction. That's when you need that stuff to work together. Sometimes stuff can be hitting flat because it's burning up rather than just not being strong enough.
Right.
Now you can normally tell when stuff's on the struggle bus
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
because it starts trying to react too soon. If stuff is just kind of gliding down the lane and then all of a sudden, jerks and then hits flat, that's probably not enough cover or enough core. But if stuff just looks like it's trying to slow down, it's laboring and just kind of chugging and just looking stupid all the way down the lane and then hitting flat, it's probably too much ball.
Yeah. So here's now to follow up with that. I know the answer, but I'm going to let you tell them. When is the best time to switch from something cleaner to something that sees it quicker? Because it doesn't always mean you have to go from ASIM to a asim to a sim.
Yeah. It could be something from going from a stronger pearl asim to a weaker pearl asim. Something like
All about
going,
the eyes.
yeah, going from an altered reality to UC2,
Yeah.
for example, because they're both long, they're both sharp. The altered has a much stronger cover formula.
Yep.
You can tell by the UC2, it's got a cleaner cover formula, and so it's going to go longer.
Yep.
So if the altered reality looks good, but it's like hitting flat, then that tells you most of the time it's either too smooth or it's too much cover. And so if you bump down to a weaker cover formula, then you're going to get more of that balance. So the altered reality, if it looks good, but you can tell it's starting to kind of react too soon and then just not quite getting there. Sometimes, people most of the time interpret hitting flat or whatever else for, it's not strong enough. I need something stronger. You might need something weaker.
You're probably gonna need something that sees it a little quick or sees a little quicker.
Yeah, to get down the lane further. So if something technically really strong is just kind of pukey and flat, you might need something cleaner to get you further down the lane to then balance the reaction.
And when we say cleaner, we're talking about something usually shinier.
Yeah.
Usually shinier.
Usually shinier,
So
weaker cover formula.
So if you're throwing an alter reality and it's seeing the lane too quick, probably a good change up would go to something like the altered, where it's cleaner.
All right.
That's just what we're throwing out there. So
speaking from a motive point of view, say if you're using something like a ripcord velocity and it looks good, but it's just a little chuggy and flat, you could then bowl down into a Supra.
Or you might even be able to get into an Enzo
or an
because it's
Enzo.
hybrid cover.
Yeah, because it's weaker, but the cores also gets it down the lane further. So sometimes when a ball looks like it's not hooking enough, it's actually hooking too much.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's really hard to explain. Number one, it's really hard to see on video. A lot of the stuff you just have to kind of experience.
Use the eye test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's like, well, how do I develop an eye?
Okay,
for
I'll let
that?
you explain that. I finally have to break this down.
Yeah, it's like how do you develop an eye for that? Because some things are just counterintuitive. That's when I pay a lot of attention to the cover formulas, because some people can just struggle through this and go through 3 or 4 bowling balls that they don't need to go through if they just understood what was going on. Sometimes I use stronger covers to blend. Something like a Halo Burn is shiny, but it's got a stronger cover formula on it. And so sometimes I use that to kind of blend or mitigate wet dry or spotty lanes or something like that. And sometimes the lanes are just so dry that stronger covers are not going to get down the lane. They're just not going to look good. So that's sometimes when you need a weaker ball, like a high road pearl, something that's got both a weaker core and a weaker cover, to just push through all that burn and then push the reaction closer to the pins. So you have to, the biggest thing for knowing when you need asymmetric versus symmetric, or a stronger or a weaker cover formula, is how soon the ball is getting traction. So that's something most people just watch reviews or the bowling balls or whatever else. They just throw the ball and then see what they do down the lane at the break point. You have to watch the ball from front to back. You have, and that's what'll tell you. I mean, you can get a lot of stuff to bend from side to side, but front to back, seeing where the ball starts getting traction. Sometimes, if you're just watching, if you just let the ball go and you're looking at the break point, you could be missing the ball hitting little dry spots and kind of jumping or hooking or whatever else all the way down the lane, or you could be missing it just kind of sailing and never really picking up or doing anything. So you have to watch the ball reaction all the way through the lane. And that's the biggest key to understanding asymmetric versus symmetric and cover strengths, cover formulas, whatever else, is watching the ball all the way down the lane and seeing what it does at 15 feet, at 30 feet, at 40 feet, whatever else. So you have to watch the ball all the way down the lane, and you have to pick up every little tiny detail of what it's doing. Weaker cores just kind of, they just don't really seem to spin up or rev up or do anything. Meanwhile, stronger cores, you let them go, and then all of a sudden they start, revving faster and revving faster and revving faster.
Yep.
And sometimes you can see a ball that's really, really revving up, and then it gets to the spot, and then it just kind of goes, eh. if it still looks like it's gliding down the lane, then you probably need a stronger cover formula
Right.
because the core's revving it up faster than the cover can actually get traction and want to do something. And so it's revving up, but it's still gliding, and then it just is too late to do anything about anything. Meanwhile, a stronger cover, it's revving up, and then it starts to kind of want to do something. Then it just kind of chugs down and bogs down and slows down and then hits flat. That's too much ball reaction. So again, it's hard to explain, but you have to watch everything. So next time you go out and bowl, if you can't see the difference, most of the time it's because you're not looking for the difference, or you're only looking at, okay, this ball is sharper down lane, or this ball's faster down, or sharper, it's smoother, but you're only watching at the break point. You have to watch everything.
See, glad I brought that up. Sorry I had to walk away to pee, but yeah, it is what it is. Duty calls.
Yeah.
Once again, thanks for Norseman Brewing. Let me deposit that away there. Sorry.
Promotion.
All right, so where are we? Does hand position impact the results downline? 100% they do.
Mm-hmm.
Hand position's gonna change the way the ball shapes a little bit. Would you agree?
Say what?
It said hand position change is gonna change the way the ball shapes a little bit.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Yep.
You can't just. And that's the other thing is some people will say, well, I bowl up second arrow and I have this ball and I have this ball and nothing seems to be working for me. It's like, well, you might have to get off, you might have to get off second arrow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, but I throw it from second arrow. It's like, well, then you need to do something different. If it's not working, it's not shaping, you're not scoring, you need to do something different.
Don't force it.
Yeah, maybe you can stay there.
Sorry, had to do it.
Maybe you have to throw it harder. Maybe you have to throw it slower. Maybe you have to get more around the ball. Maybe you have to stay more up behind the ball. But you can't just. That's one of those things. It's like, well, I'm comfortable here. I like playing here, and so I want to play here. It's like, well, it may not be working. I'd like to throw a whole bunch of these other really cool frickin' balls that I don't get to throw very often. You got to throw what works. You got to throw what scores.
Here's a good question here. Perfect example of Luke's explanation. My obsession tour would not wiggle in the practice, and I thought, no, wrong question. Sorry. The $1 million question. How do you develop the eye? I focus on my mark, then try to pick it up off the deck. I try and focus on the ball going down the lane, and my mechanics got to pop.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you need practice sessions where you're specifically trying to isolate and look for certain things. You need to go out and try to play, and this is something that really, when I go out and shoot video, because I try to play from second arrow, then I try to play from third arrow, then I try to play from fourth arrow. And this is when I pay attention to the details and then pay attention to the ball reaction. So try to try to make everything that you have, take 6 balls out, try to make everything strike from second arrow. Then try to make everything strike from third arrow. Then try to make everything strike from fourth arrow. And then go through the numbers and see what the differences are. You just have to do that. And so that's what helps me out quite a bit, is you take a bunch of stuff out. You don't have to even know the numbers before you go out. You just have to see what's going on, and then you have to try to use the details to understand why you're getting the ball reaction you're getting. Like the Spectre looks really good. It's got the Pearl version of the phase. So in my Spectre review, the Spectre has the same. They're both symmetric. It has the Pearl version of the Phase 3 cover on it, so it's R3S Pearl versus R3S Hybrid that's on the Phase 3.
Right.
The big difference is the Phase has a much lower RG. It's going to spin up, rev up a bunch quicker. The Hybrid Pearl thing doesn't really matter a whole bunch when you're talking about the same cover formula. The Hybrid's going to be a little bit earlier and smoother most of the time. But the big difference is that they don't look terribly different from second or third arrow, but once I get into fourth arrow, the Spectre just doesn't quite pick up. It's still kind of loping down the lane. It just goes too long. Meanwhile, the Phase 3 picks up and drives. And so it's like, okay, what's the major difference here? One's a Pearl, one's a Hybrid, but that's not going to make the difference between one ball going 6 feet longer than the other ball from a certain zone. So, yeah, this one's pretty. Really like this Phase 3. I like this. I got an extra one in because I really love the Phase 3, and I got.
Oh, do I need to turn that? Yeah, that's a beauty.
No, I turned it a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so I got this pour in. This pour's so pretty I couldn't drill it. So so I ordered another phase 3 and drilled that one.
That one is pretty. Really pretty.
But so that's one thing where you can figure it out. It's like, okay, well, I've taken both these balls, R3S Pearl versus R3S Hybrid. Not a big difference, not enough. It's like if you take a high road versus a high road Pearl, they're different, but they're not. The hybrid versus Pearl version of the cover is not going to make that big of a difference. The high road Pearl and high road kind of act the same all the way across the lane. The high road is just a little earlier and smoother.
Yeah.
Now in this case, there's a big difference between the core of the phase 3 and the core of the Spectre. The core of the phase 3 is 248 RG 051 differential. The Spectre is 254 050, so the differentials are virtually identical. The RG is where the big difference is, and so that explains to me why the Spectre is going so much longer, especially the deeper that we get on the lane. There's plenty of friction to the outside part of the lane, so when you have plenty of friction for ball motion, the ball's just going to hook.
Right.
But once you get into more angle, more oil, whatever else, then all of a sudden the Spectre's going so much longer than the phase 3. Meanwhile, the phase 3 pulls up and drives. So that tells you, okay, so this is what explains it. The lower RG makes the ball rev up sooner, makes it stronger, makes it roll fast, rev faster, roll earlier, roll stronger, whatever else.
Which could bring us back into pinned up versus pinned down.
Yeah.
We could get into that topic all day. But
Yeah.
if somebody's got a random question for you. How does the nuclear cell compare to the altered reality? Step down or question mark, question mark, question mark?
Those are tough because the nuke cell technically has a lot quicker cover stock on it. The altered has a stronger cover stock on it, but the nuke cell has a very strong version of that cover stock. I think the altered is stronger, but they're kind of sideways off of each other. The nuke cell is quicker, the altered is a little smoother, but they're both about the same traction strength levels because that version of E-Trax is just so dumb strong that it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So yeah, it's tough, and it's one of those things where can you make a video on this or whatever else? It's like, no, I really can't make a video on this because it's so it's so nuanced and it's so tricky to explain, and it's even trickier to show on camera, and it's tough. Ball reaction is tough, but that's why I say that you need a marriage of the tech and of the actual ball reaction, and you just have to go out and play around sometimes. And again, that's where the J.R. Raymond videos come in. Again, because he's like, I'm going to throw this from second arrow. Now I'm going to move in a little bit. Now I'm going to move in a little bit more. Okay, well that didn't quite hook, so now I'm going to get my hand around it. He's testing the ball several different ways to say, okay, well, what does it look like from straight? What does it look like from deep? What does it look like if I get my hand behind it? What's it look like if I get my hand around it?
Right.
That tells him a million different things, from how strong is this ball actually, how long does it go, how early does it want to be, how straight does it want to be off the end of the pattern? Is it naturally continuous? Is it something that I have to get my hand around it to make it more continuous? He's looking for a bunch of bowler things that don't have anything to do with the tech details. But then I think that you need to add the tech details to understand why this ball is doing a certain thing and this ball is not doing a certain thing. So.
This one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I could drink this all day. Sorry. That's why I've been quiet. I'm enjoying beer.
Well, because it's got that.
Don't mind me.
It's got that IPA, the hoppy flavor that you like.
Yeah.
But it's got more depth, more body, more. It's maltier.
And it complements my beard. So what can I say? It's called Nice Beard, bro. Just FYI.
Yep.
Do you want to hit?
Right.
Do we have any more on the topic we want to touch? Or do we want to hit some questions here? Because we're getting some questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in some.
I think we kind of talked about it. Don't force it. The don't force it thing's a lot of things. Bad ball reaction leads to bad mechanics, which is causing you to force the ball, muscle the swing, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Let's get into some questions
Yeah,
here
let's
because I
do
see
that.
some pretty good. How come if you like the spec cover, you didn't like the gravity evolve? Is that where we see the difference in the core come into play? Yes. The spec cover, the gravity evolve core creates more torque than the Catalyst core and the Crux series. So I did like the Crux because Cruxes are smooth.
Yep.
They're just smooth. Even though they're asymmetric, they're just smooth. The Gravity Evolve core tries to create a lot more torque. It's a lot like the Virtual series is all known. They all have pretty strong back end reactions. The Rad X, it reminds me a lot of the Rad X core from the Lock series, where the Lock series has a lot of torque down lane. Well, the spec cover is really early and smooth, and so if you have an early and smooth cover and you try to pair that with a really dynamic core, it fights itself. The cover wants to be early and smooth, but the core wants to be really flippy down lane, and so the Evolve either hooked early or it didn't do anything.
Right.
So, or it both hooked early and then didn't do anything. So yeah, the Gravity Evolve didn't really work for me at all, where the Crux Prime I'm a big fan of, and I'm a really big fan of the ProMotion, but I think it works better because the ProMotion is the best one out of the 3 spec balls for me because it doesn't fight itself. It's kind of a rolly core that's not really early and strong, and it doesn't want to be long and flippy. It's kind of right in the middle. I think it's like a 252 048 or something. So even for a symmetric core, it's kind of medium, and then that covers early and smooth, and so it's a pairing of two like things. Because the trend, even when you completely change the cover stock to a cover that's long and flippy, the core is still not really torquey or really aggressive, and so it made the trend really round and controllable. And so I think those two elements just worked out a whole lot better together.
Yep.
All right, I was having trouble controlling my Affliction. My driller put a little polish on it. Now it's a different monster. Just bought a high road and have a nice 1-2 combo, and that's why we went pinned down on the Affliction, because it wants to be early and slow.
Yep.
And so then by making it pinned down, you make it a little bit longer.
Yep.
You add a little bit. You make it a little bit longer, but you still go with it wants to be smooth. But if it would have been too much earlier, you'd have fought it, because it would have either stopped and turned sideways or like gone 60 feet.
I think I would have fought the typical motive ball reaction that I fought.
Yeah, you would have fought the
Yeah.
over under a whole lot. And so by letting it still be smooth with a pin down layout, you also move the ball reaction a little bit closer to the pin.
Call me crazy. The best balls that I drilled for motive were pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that made me money.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that the pin up more dynamic ball reaction looks sexier, but it kind of forces you in a little bit.
Yep.
And I don't think you or I really do that well when we're forced inside. If I can stay straight and throw an IQ tour, I'm at my best. And if you can zip it right down second arrow, because your mechanics, your ball reaction, everything else just looks so much better. And Tulsa was the perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
When you can get behind it and give it the business and just let it kind of walk up. Anytime you have to add a lot of angle, then your hit kind of gets suspect.
Well, my hit gets suspect. It just depends on how much friction there really is. But where I really get if I'm able to get left with like a pin down Jackal Ghost or something like that, like the last game of the Thanksgiving Eve tournament, I pulled out a pin down Jackal Ghost, was able to shoot 250 something, but I was way against the ball return. But it's getting down the lane a little further, so it's not gonna want to be like a pin up. It's hard to explain, but I can see advantages of it. But yeah, I'd much rather stay on top of it a lot longer than I possibly can anybody else. If I'm able to stay on top of it longer than other people, then it means I'm probably having a good day.
Yeah.
So same here, I'm sure. So
Yeah. ProMotion, only ball I've been using for the past 8 weeks. Have one pinned down on one drill with 2 inches. I am going to drill a new ProMotion with a 4-inch pin, because that's been looking really good for me on my symmetric stuff. And it'll give me, there's a couple times here where the IQ tour has just been a little too smooth, where I've kind of started grabbing it because it's not quite doing enough. There's some situations where it's perfect, and other situations where it's just not quite enough, and a ProMotion would be the next step up, or an IQ Tornado Pearl would be the perfect step up. That might be the smarter one to put holes in first. They still make the Hustle PBR. Yes, they do. Reality pin down might work, ? Probably. But I don't get along with higher RG stuff very well, and this is the thing for me, is that when I say that I don't quite like a ball, then people offer all kinds of suggestions of, well, how about if you polish it, or how about if you sand it, or how about if you do this, or how about if you do that. I can kind of tell before I do anything else. This is a ball that's got some potential that I need to still work with, or this ball sucks. Nothing I do to it is going to help it out at all. Like the Zen, I've had 2 different layouts on it. I've looked at it, I thought, well, I mean, maybe if I went pin down, it'd probably work out better, but at that certain point, I already have a million balls that are fighting for spots in the rotation to begin with, and if I have to start, well, let's drill another one with a different layout, or let's change the surface, or let's try to play here, or try to play there. If I have to start doing a bunch of different things to try to make a ball work when I already have, 15 that work great that are already fighting for bag spots, I just can't afford to spend that time or waste that time, especially since I already kind of know the Zen has that chuggier, heavy rolling, super strong core that the Sonics didn't work out for me. 2 Zens and 2 Zen Masters so far have looked terrible. So it's just, I know that type of that heavy rolling, chuggy, really wanting to slow down core just does not work for me. And so I'm sure that they're going to come out with another Zen at some point, and I'm going to have to do something different with it just to give it a chance to work. And so it's one of those things where people want to see consistent. That's the other thing, is that people want to see consistency in ball reviews. So I know that Kenan McFalls, that's on with Motive now, he does ball reviews, and he's like, well, whatever layout that I want to put on this ball, I'm going to put on this ball. I'm going to make the video, and if people want to complain, they want to complain. Well, it's like, well, you're showing a pin down ball versus a pin up ball. How is this? It's like, I'm not drilling a ball for a video, where I have to kind of drill balls for videos and then kind of fill back in on the backside.
That's the other kicker. The companies don't care as long as there's a video out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
to make it consistent, so that's why I've kind of tried to go with specific layouts. I found layouts that look really good on symmetric stuff and layouts that look really good on asymmetric stuff.
But really, you don't have to drill yours the same.
Breakfast
You're
beer?
drilling mine the
Absolutely,
same.
Ron.
Yeah.
So we're doing, for Tulsa, for example, next year. Do you have a new game plan for next year? Because everything you kind of had was not. It's the kind of stuff that I think about. So, next
Can we
year,
call them and see if they're going to lay it down backwards again?
I bet it'll be the same patterns.
Yeah.
So we'll do tournaments. Tell me I'm wrong. Have you ever bowled a tournament like Tulsa? You had a bad set. You had a bad weekend, and you thought, okay, they're probably going to be pretty similar to what they were last year, because they're apparently. Well, I was talking to Tan, and Tan was saying that that's their new patterns for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're going to play similar.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about, when you walk out of the building or on the drive home, okay, this is what I'm doing next year, and this is going to work?
Yeah. So for me, knowing instead of trying to take a bunch of different things, I know that they're going to be dry. I know how they played and this is the first time I've been to Tulsa left-handed. So that was kind of this year was kind of like, okay, let's figure it out. And the other thing is Trevor didn't have a good weekend either. And so it's like, okay, well, if it sucks for him, it's not going to go any better for me. Just period. So watching what he threw, watching what I threw, what we ended up having to do, I was making the same decisions that he was for the most part at kind of the same time, and we kind of got the same read on stuff. And at Broken Arrow, we actually had to get deep. Nothing looked good until we got to 4th arrow.
Yeah.
But there was a kid that was also killing it, just throwing it right up the rail. And so I'm in a better spot mechanically now and have a better understanding of what I need to throw just in general.
There's a lot of volume on the heads. The heads were tight.
Well, the Broken
At least
Arrow,
on the right side.
Broken Arrow had 0 oil in the heads. That's why we had to get so deep.
The shit on the right side, the shoot, that's how it was. I mean, we had to, everything, nothing solid in the fronts. It was all controllable in the backs. That's exactly how it was on the right side.
We had absolutely the opposite. The heads were fried, and then it got heavier, and the pattern got heavier and wider the further down the lane it got.
See, I thought it was more like that at Andy B's.
Yeah, well, Andy B's is just dry. So at least Andy B's is manageable. You're just going to have to throw it hard, and so I've got a lot better game plan. I've got my mechanics are a lot better.
Could you imagine bowling on that every week?
God, I don't know. They make it work out, but that's, Nathan Brantley, it lives down there now. So
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Gosh, we already
ridiculous.
spend enough money at the bar now. Instead of going down to Andy B's for $6.50 Bud Lights, and we don't drink Bud Light, so you can only imagine.
Just to get a double. We were drinking craft beers, local
Mhm.
craft beers, but they were like what, $9?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for a can of the local craft beer, it was still $7, $8, $9, which is
Ooh.
just ridiculous.
Both centers are nice. They really are. Both centers. Andy B's is a nice bowling center.
And I do like Broken Arrow is. Yeah, I mean, they're nice bowling centers. It's just Andy B's is crazy expensive, and then Broken Arrow, the shot always sucks.
At least it didn't hook as much as last year.
Awful. No, at least they have cheaper drinks, so it helps.
Not that close.
So yeah, the promotions, and this is something that I reference, is that on my report card for the Trend 2 is that the Trend 2 is a different type of ball, and it's not really sexy and it's not really whatever else, but it has its place. It's very smartly placed, very smartly designed, and I think it's just going to go the way of the promotions, that people aren't going to understand or appreciate it until it's gone. The promotion is a buffed IQ tour basically, and people just, as soon as storm stuff comes out, if it doesn't go 40 feet and turn sideways, they're not interested.
Right.
And only then, when it got discontinued, then all of a sudden you see it popping up at tournaments and whatever else. And Trevor's got 4 of them now. And
Promotions?
as soon as I introduced him to that, Verity Crawley won her first PWBA tournament with a promotion. I mean, yeah.
Never thrown one.
Yeah, here you go. Perfect example of the explanation. My Obsession Tour would not wiggle in practice, thought it was me, so I switched to the Wolverine. It was way too angular. So the Obsession Tour is a lot stronger than a Wolverine. So the Obsession Tour was burning up. And if the Wolverine, because of the...
Stronger, you mean earlier?
Well, earlier and stronger, period. The Obsession
Not
Tour...
everybody understands stronger.
Well,
Just
yeah.
a combo of both.
So if the Obsession Tour would not wiggle, but the Wolverine's turning sideways, the Wolverine has a really clean cover on it, and it's got a higher RG. So if the Obsession Tour is not wiggling, but a weaker ball is too sharp, that lets you know that there is ball reaction there somewhere. However, you pull out the Dark Code and it's money. So that's halfway in between. It's got a really strong cover, but it's shiny. It's got a really strong core, but that cover really blends wet-dry well. I don't know how it works so well on the amount of conditions it works on. But so you blend.
okay.
So the Wolverine was too long and too sharp. The Obsession Tour was too early and too smooth. And so you blend that together. You get a stronger cover, but with a weaker surface. So you kind of took those two and blended them together. Stronger ball, shiny. That works out. So.
So we hit everything. Breakfast beer,
answered
absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
Without doing the review videos, how often do you guys practice?
Ooh.
Now I'm going to get to practice more often. We actually just went out the other day and practiced, last Saturday.
Yep.
Every once in a while we just get out to practice. And what Angel and I will do most of the time, we only have one camera, so we'll film her stuff, then we'll film my stuff, and so we kind of get on the other lane and we practice while we have the chance.
Riley and I had a lazy bones in our bodies that day.
What is the name of that company for the ball cup? 303 Create. So it's www.303creations.com. And it's the numbers 303. 303creations.com. It's really cool.
See, that's
it's really, really cool.
It is really cool because I got a turbo one. Mine says turbo on it.
Yeah.
But the other thing about practice time is for me.
The website is expired.
What's
Huh?
The website is expired.
That's weird.
303
Let me see
Creations?
if it's.
We'll figure it out. I'll look it up.
Yeah, it says 303creations.com. Whatever. It's in Tulsa.
Well, it's really cool. But anyways, that's the other big reason I left with the motive thing is I was never able to practice. I had no time to do anything. Now, granted, I haven't taken time to practice recently, but it's also I bowl enough that I can take the time to practice while I'm bowling. Like I can figure stuff out on the fly because pretty much we're bowling everything all the time. So I think. The week I'm on vacation, I plan to hit some practice time, which is the week of the 15th, or next week. So I'll be able to have some practice time. I can actually go out and work on some stuff. So that'll be nice. I can have a solid week, but it's hard to find time. It really is. Because we
Why?
bowl 3 nights a week. I mean, you're going to be bowling 3 nights a week now, right?
Yeah, because I took over for Angel on Tuesdays, so I'm going to be bowling 3 nights a week. I'm
See,
going to
yes.
use Gauge as glorified practice, but at the same time, I'm just going to reinforce what I'm already doing and what's working. And
Yeah. So your days are Mondays. That's all
Yeah.
you've got. And are
Yeah.
you really on your one free day really going to want to get out and practice? Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Why hasn't Roto Global announced anything new where Storm has their January and February releases announced? They kind of go in packs, and there's some new stuff coming from both Global and they'll kind of, they all have their.
Space it off,
we just
yeah.
released some Global stuff, so I mean it's
Yeah, the Wolverine and
the
Altered
Wolverine,
Reality,
the
right?
Altered Reality, and before that, Storm hadn't put anything out because what were the last balls that we put out? It's been a while since the last.
Oh, you're going to kill me. I know what the answer.
I don't know what the answer is.
I do.
So we got the Spectre and the Nova coming, but those are out. The Wolverine and the Altered Reality came out on December 10th.
Those are global, right? No,
Before
Wolverine.
that, we had the Roto Grip.
Right.
We had several Roto Grip balls. So we had the Idle Helios, we had the Hyped Pearl, the Hyped Hybrid.
Trend 2.
Trend 2 is the last one that we put out, I think, and that was.
Oh, Steve said the same thing. Trend 2. Yep.
Yeah, so the Trend 2 was the last. The Trend 2 and the Electrify Solid are the last ones we put out, and those were frickin' 1st of November.
It's because 900 Global and Roto's kicking that butt.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Roto put out 3 more balls.
It's the same
and
thing.
then after that, the Altered and Wolverine just came out. So it's just Storm's turn
Yeah.
to put a few things out, and then Roto and Global will have their time. So yeah, they're just kind of cycling through stuff. So
Peoples, I need to buy another IQ tour. Yeah, go for it.
yeah.
Can never go wrong with an IQ tour. Absolutely not. Phase 2s, they're still out there, right?
Yeah.
Phase 2s are still out there. Scoop up Phase 2s.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good. Those are going to be very popular when they're gone.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been 3 months between the Trend 2 and the Nova and the Spectre. It'd be 3 months since Storm put anything out.
That's crazy,
So-
actually. I look every time I'm here and I see that code 0 and I think how gorgeous that ball looks.
Yeah.
Every time I'm here, I
How
see it sitting
gorgeous
next
that
to
plug work is.
You know what? It's funny. I didn't even see the plug work on it. I just see the
Mhm.
side of it. Now I see it. I see it.
Now you see the thumb that you're looking for it.
Yep. Now I see it. Good stuff.
But bring that one over here,
Okay. Well,
Angel. She was comfortable in my nice fancy pink chair that I don't ever get to use anymore.
My waistline's furious.
It's gonna go up
Good
in the
morning,
office when the
Richard.
black one gets
What's
worn
up,
out.
man?
It's gonna go up in the office when the black one gets worn out. Oh.
All right, so my
What am I
gorgeous,
getting?
the code 0.
I don't think the phase 2 is going anywhere soon. Mr. Stabby, we also thought that
No,
about
the phase 2's not going anywhere.
We thought that also about the purple, the Roto Grip idle.
Yeah.
The tour players loved it so much we didn't think it was going anywhere. And
Yeah,
then-
the phase 3 is weird because it's pretty enough that they still sell, but I don't think that they're going
Heavy?
anywhere.
Oh. I got comfy and I got.
I know.
Yeah.
My butt was warm and.
The code 0 is an overseas phase, or no, it's an overseas code black.
So
Same
we
exact-
In the dark code video.
This is actually my high series ball too.
Really?
Yeah. If I would not have, I would have had a 279 triplicate if I would not have missed my 10 pin in the 9th frame of the last game. I went 79, 79, 67.
That's still a good set.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't
I
complain.
just flagged the 10 pin, or else I'd have had a 79 triplicate, which would have been really cool.
That would have been pretty dope, actually.
But
Nope, sorry. I probably screwed that up.
plugged it. No, I plugged it. It was right-handed, and I plugged it and drilled it lefty. Because some of the overseas balls I didn't want to blow. I don't want to blow the money on.
No, makes sense. Yeah,
So I mean,
100%.
I've got them sitting
Yep.
here, and so I
Are we?
plug job. We're getting close to wrapping it up here. I
No,
think.
I was going to ask something else.
Sure.
Go ahead. Oh, we probably should run through our announcements again for the people that joined late.
Mm-hmm.
We are, after this week, we are going to miss a week but we are moving to Wednesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That will now be our new permanent time. We think it's not only best for us, but best for you guys to watch, get in and watch, correct? We will be building a Facebook group at some point in time soon. We'll make an announcement on that. But we're talking about doing one for the breakdown pair, right?
Yep.
Better, easier to interact with us. Message us. Our email's still not going anywhere. We'll use that for giveaways, contests, etc. What else did we hit on?
We both signed with Coolwick again.
Yep.
I've got the Black Label pullover on, and it's cold down here, so.
And I've just got a
He's
hoodie
got-
on.
Yeah.
I've got more stuff coming, I promise.
Yeah.
I just
we've
got to get that M off there.
Yeah, we've got some more stuff coming for everybody
Yeah.
that wants.
What's that?
As you have an M on your
It's Marucci, though. It's baseball, I promise. As you can see, the baseballs.
So for everybody that won stuff in our fundraising, giveaway, whatever else, we're still waiting on some of the Coolwick stuff. We have shipped out most of what we can ship out, but this is a tough time of the year, waiting for contract renewals and whatever else,
Yeah.
and getting budgets back
I did take care of one of them the other day.
and stuff like that. So
took care of
yeah.
one
So
and
we're getting everything. Most of the stuff has gotten out yet. We're still coming on the rest of the stuff. So.
Contract time is the worst when it comes to dealing with this
Yeah,
stuff.
the first of the year that's the unfortunate thing about doing it around Christmas is it's going to take a little bit longer because the companies are switching over a bunch of they're in big time contract time in December and January, and so stuff operates a little bit slower.
Who's
So
getting a deal? Who's not getting a deal?
Yeah.
Who's coming on? Who's doing this? How much is
Yeah.
the budget worth?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a pain. So
Stuff moves a little bit slower, but everything's still coming. So
Everything that I already had in-house is gone.
yeah.
the Bowler Smart link for Luke is down on below. Coolwick, Rosedal 10, Haas 10 saves you 10% off.
Yeah.
Please still continue to send your questions to breakdownpair@gmail.com. That is breakdownpair@gmail.com. And you can follow us on the Breakdown Pair on Instagram. It's just at the Breakdown Pair. Links
Yeah,
there.
and that's
We have a lot of fun on there.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
little
once
bit.
you get the
It's not
Facebook
just all
set up,
bowling
you
stuff.
can link it
Yeah,
together,
we will.
So they'll see it.
Oh, we will.
So yeah, and we'll get that Facebook group up and running, and we'll let everybody know when that happens.
We have a lot of fun on the Instagram stuff. We take a lot of random pictures, have a lot of fun, and it's not sponsor related. We just actually take us
Yeah, it's
pictures of
just-
us drinking beers and doing stupid stuff. Not
Yeah,
really
it's just
stupid
bowling related. We'll have a lot of pictures of when we're out at tournaments and doing extra stuff, and
stuff. Yep,
so that's
we just have a good time.
yep.
It started actually that Instagram. The first picture
Hopefully
came in
we'll have some
Tulsa.
golf outings this summer.
Yeah, we got some on there,
I
but it
haven't
was from
golfed in
it
3
was all from
years,
Tulsa.
but we're definitely going to go golfing. That's something that has to happen this year.
The Breakdown Pair at the golf course.
Oh,
Uh-oh. That's scary.
Royal Crest has a golf and bowling league.
Oh, you can do it now.
You bowl one week and you golf the next week.
He can do it now. Yep.
So yeah,
He was on the road, that's why he couldn't do it.
You bowl 3 games one week, and then you golf 9 holes the following week.
And then if it ever rains, you bowl that week.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
It-
because it's on like Wednesday night,
No, it's on Monday nights.
or it's on a night that I couldn't.
It's on Monday nights.
It's a night that I couldn't do it. So
Oh.
yeah, it's a
I
golf
lit-
and bowling league.
I live 30 minutes from Tulsa. Richard, when we're out there,
Oh,
come
sweet.
see us.
Yeah, yeah.
Come see us. Just follow
Yep.
you guys on Insta. Thank you, Emmanuel.
When did we went the first, or it was in
We are on the second week of
October.
Tulsa, so we will be
I don't
down
know.
there March. We've already got it booked. March.
Not March. That's Tulsa's in November.
Not March. April. April. We go to Tulsa.
April's in Springfield. That's Springfield.
That's May.
Well, we don't. Tulsa is November, December,
We're bowling.
or October, November, December. Tulsa for the greater Tulsa.
Yeah, you're right. We got too many out of town crap.
Yeah. Southwest in Wichita is the middle of March. Then Springfield is the end. It's the weekend before Memorial Day. And then Tulsa's like middle of October.
Yeah, I think it's like the second week of October anyway.
And we'll. I mean, you follow the show. We'll let you know.
But absolutely come out and see us.
So yeah,
We shall be there. But yes, it's on Monday nights, and you bowl 3 games one week, and then the next week you golf,
Mhm.
and then it's doubles, and then if you don't golf because of rain, you bowl, and standings all combined together. So I'm in for that.
Yeah.
Huh.
We might have to do that. Yeah,
Winning
over the
team
summer,
was
it's
least
the summer league.
intoxicated.
I
yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
That would be okay.
Yep.
I haven't golfed
Oh.
in 3 years.
At Angel, I was looking into either Hustle Camo or IQ Tour Solid to fill in my league arsenal. Angel's IQ Tour Solid is she just drilled an IQ Tour Solid for the first time about 8, 9, 10 months ago,
Best decision she ever made.
and she's using a bunch of stuff. It's made her a bunch of
She's
money.
looking at me like, don't go.
No,
She has a camo. Did you order it? Oh, she hasn't ordered it yet, but she really wants a camo.
It's
She's-
on the list, but it's not going to get drilled yet, so I'm not.
Yeah, she's waiting on it. But yeah, the IQ Tour Solid, and she just drilled a high road for the first time a couple months ago, and both of those are great. But the IQ Tour Solid has legitimately won her a lot of money because she used it. She got second place in that tournament
Ward Parkway.
at Ward Parkway, and then she made the grand finale. She made the
She
step
made
ladder
the
at the grand
step ladders,
finale.
which is the one you want to make the step ladders.
Yeah.
It's good money.
So yeah, she got fourth place in that one.
Going an IQ Tour Solid.
So I'm throwing it. It
Why I
looks
told everybody on
amazing.
here.
It's actually going to show up in the Phase 4 video.
Throw an IQ Tour Solid, people.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very good.
So anyway, I think we're about to wrap this up. I'm ready for breakfast.
I am ready to eat lunch.
Yep.
I haven't had breakfast, but it's
And
lunchtime.
we enjoyed our nice Beard Bro red IPA. It's basically a Scottish red and an IPA combined.
Yes, the beard matches the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
If you were asking. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We are going to watch. I'm going to go watch some football.
Yeah. I might watch some
He'll
football.
have the football up, but he's going to put a train table together.
Yeah. I'll probably have football going while we're. I'm sorry to your Broncos last night.
Don't get me started.
I mean, they were in control, and then the fumble.
The game was about to be won
the
there,
fumble on because you guys would have scored a touchdown
and the game was over.
because you were driving enough, but then the fumble, the guy just got right through the line, knocked the ball out, and then the spin move, Locke couldn't make the.
Funny announcement.
And
by the
again,
way.
well, if Locke makes the touchdown, or if he makes the tackle at the 10-yard line,
It's
we
o-
don't get the touchdown.
No,
and
it's still a game.
yeah. It's
Funny
still a game.
announcement, by the way. While we were having this show, the Broncos head coach has been fired. So there we have that. So
Well, that's unfortunate because I don't think
yes,
I don't
fans.
think the team is that bad. Like,
No,
I mean,
they're not.
they finished 7-10.
we have a yes, they fired
But-
Fangio. We have a great football team. We have no quarterback.
I like,
Yeah,
I
no
mean, the
quarterback.
team's pretty good.
No
It's
quarterback.
just
Broncos with a quarterback. We're a playoff team. Yeah, Fangio
Yeah.
gone. He'd be gone.
so
You know what?
yeah.
They
I
kinda
think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cup that's going to have the Broncos just all over the place, and then I'm going to have it covered
Yeah.
with whoever beats them the next time.
Oh!
Well, the Chiefs since 2015. Lucky number 13.
Yeah, no. You guys said too
But-
many injuries at quarterback. No, that's not that. We just suck at quarterback. We have since 2015.
Yeah, since Peyton Manning retired.
We win the Super Bowl. We haven't made it to the playoffs since. Got to go
Yeah.
for Rodgers next season. It's coming. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. And we
Russell
will go to
Wilson-
the playoffs.
Russell Wilson wouldn't be bad.
I would
I
take
like the
Russell
Russell Wilson pick.
I'll take Russell Wilson all day. He's just in a bad system right now.
Yeah, maybe
They're
we can
toast.
even do some of that since, Sunday morning we can't really talk any football. And
We can do a little bit of both.
hang on, hold the phone. If everybody is still here, you have to stay.
We can
forgot
do a little
about this.
football talk on Wednesdays
That's
too.
what I'm gonna say.
We can do a fantasy football
So
stuff.
yeah, we can expand the breakdown pair and talk about all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
get on here now
interesting
and tell me
stuff.
if you guys would be
Oh,
interested
at
in
least
seeing
you're not
us
a
talk about
Vikings
fantasy
fan.
football
Bruce
and
is a
stuff.
Vikings fan.
Yeah, puke. Is that gonna?
I think you have to stick it more in its
Is that
mouth.
Cordy?
Yes.
Russ needs to get off the Hawks. Yes, I agree, Brian. He'll be a Bronco next year. Don't worry. Oh,
With the phone.
we don't have time to be dealing with
So
quarterback
if-
stuff.
yeah,
We
if
got
the
too good of a
phone-
defense
yeah.
to not be dealing with it.
Yeah.
Bears fan?
If
Nothing
the
wrong with
phone
Bears.
wiggle- yeah.
While we're still here, oh my goodness. While we're still here, you can talk to us about football. I can give you a couple minutes for football.
Okay. Bring me the corgi.
Okay.
Fire Nagy, fire Pace. There you go.
Angel found these amazing things. She got a unicorn and a llama and whatever else. Oh, Bork. What do you think? Oh, Trevor Baumgartner.
Trevor Baumgartner, what's
Oh
he
my
texting
God.
about?
So you stick the ball in the corgi's mouth. I shall name him Gizmo. and you stick the ball in the corgi's mouth, and then you squeeze him, and the thing just frickin'
Explodes.
Yeah, she found a bunch of these just as fun little whatever else. But, I mean, holy crap. Yeah, no, it's a corgi quake.
If you experience an earthquake, no, Angel hit the phone with the corgi.
Yeah.
With the corgi shot. Titans fan, baby.
There was an earthquake in Vegas while we were there for Nationals,
Oh
though.
my god, it freaked me out.
Hey,
so
Fred.
much.
I'd never been in an earthquake before.
I hope
and
the Titans win
Nationals,
today.
we had an earthquake. It only lasted for about 10 or 15 seconds, but I was taking a video, or I was just standing there. I felt like I got vertigo, like really bad, because it just all of a sudden everything's like shaking and spinning. I'm like, whoa, hang on. And then you look up in the rafters, and all the pipes and everything are moving or whatever. Like, holy crap, that was an earthquake. But it feels like it feels like hardcore vertigo.
And I
It's
was
just kind
still
of like,
coming off of traveling, so I still had my bands on.
Yep.
And so I'm going, oh no.
We had
that comes out hot.
we had one during our wedding reception.
Oh yeah.
It went that way. We had one during
Yeah,
our
it's over there somewhere.
wedding reception, and well, everything was going on. We didn't feel it, but apparently it was a decent sized one. But it's Titans in the playoffs. Yes, please Titans get that win today. Make the
So,
Chiefs.
yeah,
number
yeah,
two
I wanna-
seed,
I wanna
make it
watch
play next
that.
week.
And they said that Mahomes has never played a playoff game on the road except the Super Bowl.
He's such a whiny little.
He's never played. No, his brother sucks.
So have you seen Patrick struggle? Watch him on the sidelines. He looks like a whiny little S.
Yeah, well, he's
He's got another thing
You're
coming.
gonna have to find it.
okay. It went over there somewhere. I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
have to find it. All right, let's shut it down so we can get fixed.
All right. Yes, I would. I want to watch the Titans Texans game today because I want to see where the Chiefs end
Titans
up.
are gonna win. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but Jets. I've been a Cowboys fan since. Oh, I made so much money.
Incomplete. I heard that a bunch
Yeah.
last night, but we're good.
I made so much money in the '90s when the frickin' Bills made when the Bills made the Super Bowl like the 4 years in a row or whatever they did. And
No,
then
they went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and still could not get one
lost
win.
every single one of them.
I would quit as a fan.
Titans have the Chiefs.
Titans do
The
have
Chiefs
number.
are a different team now than they were the first. We thought, oh my God, they're going to be like 6-11 or whatever at the beginning of the year.
They should be.
And then they turned it around. They figured it out, but they're still not as good as they were
Fog.
last year.
Ugh.
But
They're not winning the Super Bowl. How about that?
probably not.
No.
I don't think that they have it together. But
They're not winning.
but
It will not happen.
They have it together enough to probably do okay. I think they might win a round or two, but if they,
Can never count the Chiefs out. You can when Patrick Mahomes feels like he has to do everything.
yeah, my buddy, which buddy? I know.
I
your
watched
buddy.
him last night almost be picked off 3 times, and those 3 times he should have been picked. That would have
buddy.
cost the game. One hit us in the chest.
My
It's like, what are you
buddy.
doing?
I know, buddy.
No, not
That's a good
happening.
buddy. I know.
Yeah, the Cowboys beat twice in the Super Bowl. Yeah, it sucks. All right, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys a week. Is it
The 19th.
The 19th.
We'll see you the 19th
So it'll
at
be a
6:30
week from
p.m.
Wednesday.
Central on a Wednesday night.
We might have
I'm
some.
going to start trying to get these set up
Buddy,
on
what are you doing?
Monday, so everybody can share them,
Buddy?
see them, so they
Aren't
should
you
see
buddy?
everything Monday. For
Perfect.
What we're gonna, the topic and everything.
And we will share it and everything. We should hopefully have a Facebook group built by then so we can really share everything. You guys can see it. But once we get it, please follow us. Follow us on
Come on, buddy.
Instagram, and we'll have a good time.
Come here. Yeah, I showed you a good buddy. Yeah.
And there's Storm Dog.
This is Storm Dog.
Thanks, guys. This was great. Thanks,
The
Brian.
latest
Appreciate you
rescue
watching.
dog.
Follow our socials too.
I
Luke
know.
Rosedal and Jonathan Hawes, Facebook,
Storm buddy.
Instagram, whatever. Thanks, guys.
Yep, we'll get the Facebook group up.
What's the Discord site? Oh, let me.
Storm Nation.
Yep, Storm Nation on Discord. Let me see if I can find a quick link real
Yeah.
quick.
It should be in the description,
I've
I
already
think.
hit the X. I'm not sure if they can hear you.
Yeah. We still live?
I don't know. I've got the screen. I just need to click end.
Yeah.
Are we still live? Can you guys hear
I
us?
think it's
No,
over.
just let's just be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was gonna add that
Okay,
in.
just say bye.
Bye.